Time now. There you go. Hi. Hi, everybody. Sorry, we're a little tardy with the thing. I normally look and check to see if we're live, but some reason I did not. I apologize. Hope you're still watching. Um, where was I, Mr. Burdick? Do you remember? I have no idea what I was talking about.
You were talking
Oh,
about
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark. The reality is, I was saying that there was no bigger fan and no bigger critic of those who weren't giving her props when she first came into the WNBA. She was literally single-handedly able to get them from flying commercial to now they all fly charter. And I was the first one to say that she was not getting her props. But the reality is she's getting beat up because she's a good player. If you don't understand what I'm talking about and you've never played sports, I suggest you go back and watch the late 80s when there was this kid from North Carolina. I can't remember his name. Maybe it'll come to me. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And when he first came into the league and really started to make waves in the league, go back and look at some of the Detroit Chicago Bulls games. Go back and look at some of the Boston Celtic Chicago Bulls games. Go back and watch some of the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Chicago Bulls games and take a look at how they treated the greatest basketball player who ever lived. Go look at Bill Laimbeer and what he would do to Michael Jordan. Go look at Rick, what was his name with the big butt? Rick Mahorn, and what he would do to Michael Jordan when he came down the lane. In fact, there was a whole segment brought up about it. It was called the Jordan rules, where if the rule was if he comes into the paint, he ain't standing up. That was the Detroit Pistons stance, and they talked about it. Isaiah talked about it. Joe Dumars, John Sally, they all talked about it. That's right. That's right. If he comes in this little paint where the color is, he ain't going to be standing up when the play's over. We'll tell you that right now. Ain't going to be no layups. Ain't going to be no layups. Go talk to the Boston Celtics when they beat the Lakers in '84, when they got down 2-1 and they went to Los Angeles. And Bird held a meeting and told the players, if a Laker gets a layup uncontested, you're going to have to fight me. And then on an infamous play, Kevin McHale literally took Kurt Rambis by the neck, and took him to the ground. This isn't anything new, but it happens to this young woman. And now the Congress is getting involved. And the fact of the matter is, she's no longer the face of the league. She came in because she was Steph Curry and she extended the three-point shot to areas that we've never seen in the WNBA, and that caused attention. But the reality is, she's an above average player. Really? You don't think so? She's 5th in scoring. There are 4 ladies ahead of her in scoring. She's 6th in three-point shots. There are 5 ladies in front of her. And she is a defensive liability. And before all this nonsense coming to her rescue started, it was about a week or 2 ago, you heard me say, I'm off the Caitlin Clark bandwagon. I really am. The complaining to her coach where she's walked off at times, just kind of they've been in an argument on the court, and then she just kind of walks away like she's LeBron James or something. The flopping, the complaining to the refs. Again, go back and watch those Bulls games. You never see Jordan complain to the refs. Not about those. He'd fight back, but he'd never complain to the refs about what was going on. It was part of what basketball is about. And to be honest with you, Caitlin, if you really want to contest these women, fight back. Can you imagine? I mean, I'm a coward. I've told you that right now. But I can't imagine playing basketball and somebody putting their fist on my neck and I just get up and walk away. No. You're going to put a fist on my neck, we're going to go at it. We just both going to get thrown out. There's no way I'm going to let somebody put their hand on my neck and just be like, what was that? It's like Mason Rudolph. You remember that? The quarterback who got Myles Garrett took his helmet off and hit it with him. And if you remember, Rudolph turned to the ref. I would have grabbed Myles Garrett by the neck and tried to choke him out. I mean, yeah, he would have got his ass kicked, but sometimes you got to take an ass whooping. Guy flings a helmet at you. You don't turn to the ref. show some manhood and go after the guy. Again, Miles would have killed him. But that's beside the point. And some of these black girls would probably beat up Caitlin Clark, but that's beside the point. I've talked about this about children. It's the hardest lesson to teach children. Sometimes you just got to stand up to the bully. And if you want reference to what I'm talking about, go watch a famous Andy Griffith episode where Andy tells Opie, you got to fight the kid that's taking your milk money. And then he and Barney are waiting for him to come back from the fight, and they're pacing in the office. And Barney's like, I'm going to go on patrol. And Andy's like, come back. You can't help him if you go out there. It's going to hurt him. Let's just see what happens. And Opie comes back, and he's got a black eye, and he celebrates, and they're all happy because he stood up to the bully. That's life. And no matter what context, you have to stand up for your own. So to have Congress get involved in the WNBA, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. All right, we're running late. I went off on a rant. Let's get started. Mr. Bentley will join us in just a matter of minutes at the bottom of the hour, but we begin. Have you heard what is going on with the preliminary hearing with Tyler Robinson? No, I'm not talking about what I've been complaining about all week, that they have enough evidence in this preliminary hearing to prosecute this man. And I've never seen that. I'm not an attorney, but I've covered the courts, both for newspaper and television. I've covered many preliminary hearings. I've never seen the amount of evidence that's being put forward for such an open and shut case. I'll break that down for you when we come back. And bad news for Dodger fans. Not tragic news, but just a little bump in the road. But again, we're all about September and October. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. We are just getting started on this Friday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230. We stream live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, first of all, we got the hot list. We have the latest. We'll tell you who.
Somebody's going to come and drop something off for me.
Is Mitch McConnell dead or alive? Who knows? We're going to find. Maybe we'll find out today.
Just
and then we'll
it.
have. We'll talk jobs with America's Job Center occurring. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. Right here at News
No,
Talk 96.1.
not at all. Not at all.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
The tutoring session from Jennifer and Ryan Van Alstyne continue. They are the owners of Adaptive Networks that provide all of our IT services. And why did we turn to the folks right across the street from us? Because of their customer service, their reliability, and their flat-out competence. We have been struggling with our IT for years. If you're a business owner, you should be listening to these segments that we do on Wednesdays with Van Alstyne. Because one of the segments focuses on what you should be looking for and some of the red flags that you should be seeing as well when dealing with your IT. If you've got an IT company that's coming out time after
cheesecake
time
is
after
disappearing.
time, just going over the same problems over and over again.
As it's getting
then I
smaller and
suggest you pick up
smaller.
the phone and call the
You got a
folks
little
at
chunky
Adaptive
chunk?
Networks today.
You should.
661-241-0638. That's
I'm taking
661-241-0638. Join American General Media, teaming up with the best IT
for the ride to LA.
in Kern County. And that's the good folks at Adaptive Networks. Again, their number 661-241-0638. Find them online at adaptive-net.com.
Meet Paul Sheldon's
why I
client,
gotta-
Dr. Roland
I started my
Rodriguez.
Hello,
staff
this
thing.
is Bakersfield
Take
General
my license,
Surgeon,
'cause I
Dr.
gotta
Roland
be able to go
Rodriguez,
outside,
client
depending
and
on
friend
my
of
nephew,
Mr. Paul
just kinda
Sheldon.
one time
It is
he
my
gets off
great
work.
pleasure and privilege to relay
And the later,
all
the
of you
worse
my
it is.
absolute
I just-
exemplary experience with Team Paul Sheldon. I have
Can you
also referred a
imagine
number of my
leaving here at
colleagues to
6:30?
Paul Sheldon's office, only to receive the most
Yeah,
stellar
you're right.
feedback from my
You're
doctor
right.
friends
I'm
regarding
hoping
the
it's later.
office's expert
Or I hope he
navigation
says
through the
tomorrow
complex
morning. He's
maze
like, we
that
can go
is
tomorrow
Medicare.
morning.
And even though Paul Sheldon himself is now facing some temporary
so
health
much.
challenges,
But I'm
his
dependent on him.
long-standing and
So
most experienced
I'm on
and
his
expertly trained team of ladies, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn, continue to masterfully guide the clients
I haven't gotten
through the
that far.
complicated
Let me just
world
get
of
to the
Medicare.
task, get
You
the
most
license.
definitely could not
But yeah,
possibly do
probably.
any better Then to
Probably
reach out to
that's the
Paul
cheapest
Schultz
route.
several months before turning 65.
Sure,
Thank
Damon
you.
and
When
those guys.
Medicare matters, our team has the answers.
That's not
Team
bad.
Paul Sheldon.
398-22.
You did it?
Looking to refresh your home or business with a clean, professional new
I'm
look?
gonna try
Trust
it.
the experienced team
At
at
Bucko
Howling
4?
Painting. Family owned and operated in
Yeah,
Kern County since
yeah.
1978. Howling Painting has built a reputation for quality workmanship, dependable service, and attention to detail. From residential to commercial projects, interior or exterior painting, their team is committed to delivering beautiful results at competitive prices. Named Best of Bakersfield's best painting company in both 2025 and 2026, Howling Painting takes pride in making sure every customer is completely satisfied before the job is done. And with a fully licensed and insured team, you can feel confident knowing your property is in trusted hands. Call Howling Painting today at 872-0988 at 872-0988 or visit howlingpainting.com to schedule your free, no obligation consultation. Howling Painting, quality you can see, service you can trust.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Got a new reference book. If we have any presidential questions, I brought in my president's book. I don't know why. I was just sitting on my coffee table and I was like, you know what? I never look at this.
Clearly not up to date. That's Biden.
Oh, no, this thing is as old as Methuselah. This thing is, I think I got this in when did he get elected? 2020?
Yes.
Yeah, he is he the last one in here? Let's take a look. Yes, Joseph R. Biden Jr. So yeah, I probably got this about 8 years ago. I love this book. 842-5376, our phone number, 842-KERN. So again, the decision on Tyler Robinson's trial, the prelim is not going to be decided until September 1st for reasons that I can't even understand. And it'll be fascinating to talk about this on Tuesday with our former federal magistrate judge and ask her, has she ever seen a preliminary? First of all, have you ever seen a preliminary hearing take a week? I mean, I guess some have. My memory is so bad. Again, I've covered many preliminary hearings, and they're normally very, very quick because the threshold to take something to trial normally isn't that high. You know, normally if the police department, this is how it works. The police department catch somebody. They catch Chris Burdick running out of Rite Aid, and they press charges against him and send the case to the district attorney's office. And if the district attorney's office thinks there's enough evidence to prosecute him, they level charges against that person. Then you've got to go to trial before a judge who may not be the judge that is in the trial itself, and you've got to prove the evidence that the police have given you is enough to take it to trial. Well, if the DA's office thinks it's enough to convict, 9.9 times out of 10, they certainly have enough evidence for a trial. They may not have enough evidence to convict, because that's up to a jury or perhaps a judge, but certainly they have enough evidence for probable cause. That's the threshold, probable cause. And, you know, in this situation, there's really not that much evidence. There's really not. I mean, all the prosecutor has is Tyler Robinson's DNA on the trigger of the rifle. They've got his DNA on the rifle. They've got his DNA on the towel that was wrapped around the rifle. There's video of him walking on the campus before the shooting, during the shooting, coming back after the shooting, looking for the rifle. They've got a note that he left to his lover underneath the keypad that he notified him about later. Look under the keypad, there's a note there. And I lost my legal pad from yesterday, so I don't have what it was written, what the note said. I had it in my yesterday's notes. But it said something to the effect, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to do it. And then they've got this other tiny piece of evidence where he confessed to his lover. Other than that, they really have nothing to go on. And this isn't enough. I mean, like I said, seriously, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or exaggerating. That's enough evidence. Hell, the confession alone is enough to convict this guy. And how this thing is being drawn out until September 1st is just destroying the Kirk family. It's just more and more that they're just being dragged through this thing. They let out a notice today trying to let me see if I have this right. Please stand by. This is what they said. As difficult as these last few days have been, it brings our family comfort to know that the world has witnessed the overwhelming evidence of what occurred to Charlie that day. Nothing will ever undo the loss of our beloved Charlie as this case moves into its next phase in September. We pray that the truth will continue to be heard through a process that is fair, transparent, and grounded in the facts. I just feel for this family. I truly, truly do. I don't understand what is going on. I really, really don't. And you know what the next step is, because all the defense, they have no case. They have no case, obviously. I just broke down 6, 7, 8 facts that could get anybody convicted of anything. Good googly moogly. So they have no case. So what do? There's no lawyer's statement that when you have no case, you take off your shoe and start pounding it on the table. In other words, the point of that cliche is you create a distraction. If you ain't got no evidence, you create a distraction and you try to get the jury to play 3-card Monte, which is a game in New York or in big cities where a guy has 3 cards and he mixes them up and he makes it look really simple. And then that suckers you in and you think you can beat him. And then obviously you can't beat him and you lose. And that's what they're doing now. They're diverting the attention of the jury because you know what the next step is? And when they do this, you'll be like, damn, Ralph Bailey told us that a couple of weeks ago. Change of venue. Now, again, I shouldn't even pat myself on the back because a 10th grader could figure that out. There's no way in the world the defense is going to sit back and allow this thing to be adjudicated in Provo or Utah, wherever in Utah it's being adjudicated. Not that that matters. It's just to slow down the process and to muddy up the waters. That's all. Because, again, they have no case. Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk from atop of that building to get back at him for his Charlie Kirk's, at least in the eyes of Tyler Robinson's, anti-transgender statements, et cetera, and this was revenge for his lover, essentially. And one of the things that he testified to, and I don't have time to play the audio, we'll play it a little bit later, from Lance Twiggs, where he basically said that Tyler Robinson, had never really talked about Charlie Kirk until that very day. That's just not a coincidence. It is damning evidence. It's overwhelming evidence to prosecute somebody, let alone send it to trial. And I hope at some point we learn why this is taking. It'll be a year almost to the day when the preliminary hearing takes place. And that's not right. That's just not right. And yes, the defendant has a Sixth Amendment to a speedy trial, but I think the victim's family have a right to a speedy trial as well. Their rights should not be run over. I thought I had a fairly decent understanding of our judicial system, but what's going on in Utah, what's going on Truxton Extension with these plea deals, I don't know if the DA's office is lazy, negligent, understaffed, scared to death of David Torres and H.A. Sala. I really don't know what it is. But some of these arrangements, Cynthia Zimmer is digging her own political grave. Quick time out. Rick Bentley and Kernak, the Magnificent.
News. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Graham Plattner has submitted his paperwork to formally withdraw from Maine's U.S. Senate race.
Give it a try.
Officially ending an upstart
Here I go.
campaign whose dissolution
I'm going to give it a try.
Democrats' pursuit of chamber control. Plattner's paperwork was received
by the
Maine Secretary of State's office. Maine is considered a key state for control of the narrowly divided Senate.
Falls on you.
Democrats were desperate for a candidate capable of defeating Republican Senator Susan Collins. President Trump has
Yeah,
chosen
that's
not
probably
to sign a
I
sweeping
don't wanna-
housing affordability bill on Friday. In protest of Congress not approving a strict voter ID bill that does not have enough support to pass. On Wall Street, that up by 149 points. The Nasdaq rose 74. The S&P advanced 31. More details at srnnews.com.
I'm Brant, and her name is Sherry.
Hello.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN Newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. You may have heard about kids and adults interacting on video game platforms. And Thursday, Matthew Macatuno Naval of Elk Grove learned in court he will face charges of kidnapping a child under 14 to commit lewd or lascivious acts and 2 counts of lascivious acts with a minor under 14, 3 of 7 original charges in the kidnapping of a 10-year-old girl from Taft. Prosecutors say he met on Roblox April 12th last year. Normally, your car insurance rates are based on how well you drive, how much you drive, and how long you've been driving. A bill being considered by California lawmakers would let AI prediction models be interjected into that formula using GPS data to predict how you will drive and allowing insurance companies to set rates based on those predictions. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
I move mountains for a living. Literally.
You can set up all kind of, because like one of our buddies had,
and when it comes to serious
the thing in their
I don't mess
backyard
around with
where they can
anything
just
but
all
Rolex
in
Max
that
strength.
shit.
Its dual active formula has 1,500
Woo!
milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium
I don't know if I'm doing that
hydroxide
again.
that relieves heartburn fast. And the best
Yeah.
part, the roll fits right
They
here
really
in my
do.
pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolate spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams.
I'll try one more time. That was tough.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can
That was
devastate the
tough.
quality of your life.
It's
Now,
just
there's an
so
affordable fix
oppressive.
for you or your loved one. Rated the
So what
best
time is it?
hearing aids
3? I
of
can't be on
2026 by
this time.
Forbes Health. Audion Hearing
If
has
my
the
guy-
highest quality hearing
if I don't
aids
go
at
to
the lowest
LA,
prices, starting at just
my guy
$98
gets
a
a tea
pair.
time.
I actually like them
After
better than my
10,
old
11,
$5,000 hearing aid.
Could not believe how my hearing and
12,
life
1,
changed.
2, 3.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com.
No, I'm gonna go. We're playing at 6:30 on Sunday.
With Scott Cox.
We're off the
Morning
golf
6
course
to
by
9
11.
a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Lick
Yeah, it'll be
program,
hot. I
first
don't
of all,
mind.
we got the hot list.
Little
We
heat,
have the
but-
latest. We'll tell you who won Wimbledon. We got the latest on the human foosball. Is Mitch McConnell dead or alive? Who knows? We're going to find. Maybe we'll find out today. And then we'll have we'll talk jobs with America's Job Center occur. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. Right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. And don't it feel good? Well, no, actually, I just took a lap and it'll be the last one of the day. No, it does not feel good outside. I cannot imagine my Agape air conditioning or just anybody who has to work outside over this weekend. I just can't imagine. It is, but I mean, it's just like an oppressive walk outside. But here to raise spirits is our good friend and KGT entertainment reporter, Rick Bentley. How are you, sir?
I'm great. You know, I for me, I think it's almost psychological.
Yeah.
In that I'm okay. 99.
Yeah.
Well, it hits
In the
100,
90s.
and my brain.
No,
goes,
there's a difference.
But I will say
there's
this.
a physical difference.
I will say this: having lived in Louisiana for 7 years, I never complain about the heat.
True that. And
Because
having lived on the
right
East
now-
Coast, you're absolutely right.
Right
it can
now,
be it can be worse. So there's sometimes where it's worse in the South when it's 88 degrees
Exactly.
with 95% humidity.
Right
it's
now,
miserable.
our humidity is under 10%.
Mhm.
So that's dry. That's dry,
Mhm.
dry. There, it was constantly 100% humidity.
Right.
And you literally, I mean, that little short walk you took,
You'd
you'd
have to
been
change
drenched.
clothes.
You
You'd
would have
have
been
to change
drenched.
clothes.
So yeah, it's hot, and I'm not going to ever say it's not,
Yeah.
but I have seen it worse. And so, but I do, my heart goes out for anybody. When people talk about they have a hard job and everything, the guy who gets up on a roof in the middle of summer in Bakersfield, that's the hardest working person on this planet.
And those guys have to do it. My guys at Agape, they have to do it because people are running their air conditioning more than ever.
This is when they break down.
And this is when they break down.
Exactly.
And those guys have to get on a roof.
Yeah, they're heroes.
And they've got all kind of, they don't get up there in shorts and t-shirts.
No, they've got
on full clothing, and it's just, I don't know how they do it.
I don't either. And they're by the grace of God.
No kidding.
I am so happy with the career. I mean, yes, it's hot, but you and I are sitting in this beautifully air-conditioned room.
69 degrees.
And when I leave here, I'm going to get my air-conditioned car, go to my no, those are the hard workers. Bless them for what they do.
Just to give you a sense of humidity, when my father passed away and we were leaving, and it was me, my sister, my two sisters, and my mom, and I was taking the bags, just freshly showered, and I was taking the bags to the car so we'd go to the airport, maybe a 10, 15-yard walk, and I must have made 3 or 4 trips. I literally had to change clothes and take a shower.
Yeah, no, that I get it.
Crazy.
It was yeah. There is people always laugh at it's a dry heat. It's like there is a difference.
You better be
there is
thankful.
An absolute difference.
Better be thankful for that dry heat. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to have our mysterious visitor, or do you want to talk IMAX?
Let's start with IMAX.
Okay.
What is IMAX? I see that the Odyssey has come out and everybody's talking about it. They were on the whole cast was on the Today Show.
Let's back up.
Okay.
It hasn't come out. It comes out next Friday.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, the way they played it up, I thought it was it.
Well, this is the pre-hype.
Okay.
Every movie that opens the week before,
yeah,
there'll be a screening in New York or in LA with the cast. They'll do interviews. They'll hit the Today Show. They'll hit the Tonight Show. Whatever, they'll do all their because you got to you want that opening box office to be as big as possible. If it's a good movie, that's fine. You got a big opening weekend and you keep doing that. If it's a bomb, you at least have an opening weekend.
True.
So the publicity, so much of the publicity goes to that week just before it opens. So yeah, it opens next Friday.
Yeah, an impressive cast. They were all on the Today Show this morning.
Yeah, it's a great.
And I guess Matt Damon. Is the almost title character,
right?
Odysseus. Do you remember the Iliad and the Odyssey?
Yeah.
Do you? Okay. Tell it, because I read it.
What's about the?
But I think I read it early, and I think I might have used Cliff Notes because I can't remember much of it.
Yeah, it is.
I just all I remember is it's something to do with everybody wanted his wife while he was at war.
Right.
That's as much as I remember.
And he left a bow, an unstrung bow for the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And how she tested her suitors was if you can string the bow, okay, you can be. Well, it's impossible. It was one of those, sword in the stone type things. So, yeah, but basically what it is the end of the Trojan War. They've saved Helen of Troy. Now they're heading home, but getting home is a trek in itself.
And doesn't Poseidon get involved? And
there's a Cyclops. There's the Sirens.
See, that's why it lost me as a kid, because that kind of.
But see, I was a comic book guy, and to me, those kind of books are, they're almost comic bookish when you think about it.
They really are. That's why it lost.
They have heroes. They have like these oversized villains or these bigger than life villains, and so I was really intrigued by it. So yes, I have read it. Again, I tend not to read the book something is based on. That was just I happened to read that when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Because I don't. It's sometimes the story is so different, and so how do you judge that? Is it okay to be different, or do you need to stick to it? I don't know.
Yeah, and I called my buddy. We read it in Latin under a different title, and I can't remember what he told me what the title was.
I don't know. I didn't read it in Latin.
We had to read it in Latin.
That is weird.
Yeah, we would read passages out of it each day in Latin, and then we would have to translate it. It was one of my favorite classes, actually. Ruben Gregorio, one of the greatest men I ever met, my Latin teacher.
Was it a Latin class?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's why. Okay.
Yeah. I loved taking Latin. I really did. I really did. Mr. Gregorio was a great guy.
I took Latin, but we didn't do anything like that. We just learned
Greek law, Greek lay.
Yeah. I can tell you what aquavita means.
Exactly.
But I did find out because people always say, well, you took Latin. there are so many words in Latin that became
The roots.
the
Yes.
roots of so many English words.
Latin helped me with my SATs.
Yeah, because
I did not know what to laud meant.
Right.
But I knew laudare in Latin meant to praise, and I figured it out on my SAT. I'll
Yeah.
never forget that because
Yeah,
I
no,
saw that
it's-
word and I panicked and I was like, well, I'll take a guess because I know laudare means to praise.
Right.
So I'll take a shot. And I was right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So much of our English language
Mhm.
is
It's
rooted in Latin.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
it is.
I have found that there are words I could, I looked at the word and go, well, I know what this means, and I know what, so it
Mhm.
probably means this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your guess is it's an intelligent guess.
And
It
prefixes
Yeah,
and
oh, yeah.
suffixes that are
Exactly.
based on Latin. Yeah.
But IMAX basically is it's a little more, nothing more than a large version of a movie theater.
Okay.
Where a regular movie theater, an IMAX theater is probably 60 feet by 80 feet tall. It's a massive screen. They started building IMAX theaters in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, but they're saying it was shot on IMAX. What does that mean?
What it means is that the frame, the size of the frame, the film frame
Is larger?
is larger.
Okay.
So that when it projects, it can be projected on a larger screen without losing quality.
Okay.
And so yes, when it's shot, it's literally shot for IMAX, means it's using IMAX cameras, which they run a bigger film stock.
Okay. All right.
So, but yeah.
As we were going on, as you saw me taking notes, I wasn't ignoring you. I was taking notes that have just broke that Randolph Mantooth passed away.
Oh.
I loved him because I was a huge fan to my fellow old
Right.
folks of Emergency.
Of Emergency.
He was the doctor in Emergency.
Well,
and
he was one of the firemen. He wasn't a doctor. He was a paramedic.
oh, wasn't the doctor? Oh, Mantooth was the partner?
Yeah, he was one.
He was one of the two
he
partners
was
with
the
Bobby
dark-haired-
Troop?
Yeah.
I thought he was the doctor
No.
at the hospital.
No.
Okay, I have a totally different guy. Because I thought he was the guy in MASH who says, damn, Army. You remember that guy?
Yeah, but
that's the
no.
doctor in Emergency. I thought that was Randolph Mantooth, but no. I'm
No,
wrong.
Randolph Mantooth was one of the two.
Was the two stars of the
two
show.
paramedics, right.
Okay. It was because it was Bobby Troop and Randolph Mantooth.
Well, Bobby Troop was one
Was
of
the dark-haired guy.
No.
Have I got it completely wrong?
You got it completely wrong.
Bobby Troop was not the other partner to Mantooth?
Bobby Troop was the old doctor.
That's the one I'm thinking was
That's-
Randolph Mantooth.
Right.
Okay.
The dark-haired paramedic was Mantooth.
I don't think you're right. I think he was the other guy.
Okay, well.
of the two guys.
Siri? Who were the two?
Hey, Siri, show me a picture of Randolph Mantooth. Let's settle this right now. Oh, you're right. Holy Toledo.
Why are you shocked that I'm right?
What could it? Oh, well.
Yeah, he was.
Thought I knew something about Hollywood.
Yeah, but then,
Apparently not. Wow, I liked him. He was my favorite of the two guys.
well,
as a
you know
matter
what?
of
I like the show.
fact. I love the show.
Yeah.
Every kid our age
And
loved
it's
that
still
show.
airing. You can watch it. One of the
Yeah.
over-air channels here in town every day at 5:00 shows it.
Yeah, that and Adam 12.
Adam 12 airs at like
Was
6
our-
a.m. on that
And I
same
think
channel.
I think they both aired on the same day when
Exactly.
we were kids.
And if you go back and watch both of those now, you'll notice that the music in both is the same.
Is that right?
There's a lot of that incidental music.
Mm-hmm.
I think at that time, a lot of those shows that were being produced at Universal just sort of passed around that incidental music.
Okay.
In fact, some of it even showed up in Batman, the Batman TV series.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
It's kind
Very
of a
good. Very
worthless
good.
tribute thing.
All right. Very good. Let us get to
All
Kernack.
right, we
the
are.
Magnificent.
It has been a while, but I went by the home of Funk and Wagnall, and there on their porch was a mayonnaise jar, filled with these incredible questions that you ascertained without even looking inside the envelope.
Do we have time still?
No, we're done.
For that intro?
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. See
All right.
you next week.
Sim Salabim.
So, Kernack, with your wisdom, here is the first letter.
Having problems pronouncing what I see. Moana.
Moana.
Moana. That's what I said.
And it's amazing that movie just opens today, and you already have a vision.
What do you do when your Anna gets too tall?
You Moana.
Moana.
Oh, great, Kernack. You are so
off to a
wise.
blazing start.
Yeah, to a blazing start. Here is number 2. And maybe literally.
Bonnie Raitt.
Bonnie Raitt.
Are you going to do this
I'm
throughout
gonna
the
do
whole
this
show?
every day, yeah. I get paid by the word.
All right, very good. Bonnie Raitt.
Bonnie Raitt.
I wish you put cards in there like Karnak did. How do you determine what your Bonnie is worth? Bonnie.
You use the Bonnie Raitt.
Okay, very good, very good. We'll get rolling here in just a second.
Yeah, I'm sure Carson had a budget to buy the card.
True that.
Yeah,
True that.
You're getting scrap paper.
All right, very
All
good.
right, here is number 3. Number 3.
We need a hero.
We need a hero.
Oh, it's you.
There's an echo
I
here,
thought it
isn't
was
there?
echo.
Yes.
Apparently, no, it's you. How does a couple order a sub sandwich at a deli?
We need a hero.
We need a hero. We're about to get rolling. Just stand by.
Right. Any week now.
Yes.
Here is number 4.
Letter number 4. The Masters golf. No. The Masters
Read it
of
again.
the Universe.
The Masters of the Universe.
Can I play a role too? You mind?
You can also ruin the joke.
Which golf tournament would need an intergalactic course?
The Masters of the Universe.
And hence I
You blew the joke.
blew the joke.
Yeah. You know, these have been.
I cannot foresee the
how bad this is going to be
until I can
right.
place it to my forehead.
But I'm going to guarantee you're going to end on a high note.
All right.
A very high note. Here is the last one.
The final.
The final.
May your sister get treated like Caitlin Clark.
Oh,
I got to read this. I'm sorry.
We practiced this.
Kareem or wheat?
Kareem of wheat.
Kareem of wheat. That's what I said.
I heard you.
You need to pay attention more.
I was repeating what you
Kareem
said.
of wheat.
Kareem of wheat.
Does everybody hear that? Is this working? That's what I said. Kareem of wheat. What was our gang's Buckwheat's name after it became a Muslim? Kareem of wheat. Karnak!
Karnak, the
Magnificent. Thank
you,
you.
thank
All
you,
right,
thank
very good. Send all your cards and letters to Rick Bentley, please.
Yeah, please.
All right, very good. What else is going on? You said Moana.
Yeah, I saw
It's
Moana, the live action version of the animated movie.
I'm not a fan, but from what I saw on clips on television, it looks pretty good, actually.
Okay.
No, Lord. Every time I say that, it's an F.
It's not an F.
From now on, I'm just going to say it sucked.
Let me ask you this question.
You.
Did you see the animated version?
Okay. Have we met, Rick?
I know, but I have to ask that.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I did not. I missed that
Then
one.
you probably will enjoy it. It's an acceptably pleasing movie. The problem I have with it is the live version of a film that came out only less than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Do we really need it? I'm looking at this because it is a frame by frame version of the original animated movie.
Okay.
And what I think, because a lot of times what I take into consideration when I'm trying to review a movie is a family of 4 is going to go out and see this movie because it's a family friendly movie. And if they go, they probably would enjoy it. But is it worth spending $70 at minimum without popcorn or anything else to see a movie that has just literally been on network television last week, although it was the animated version, but it's still the same movie. I mean, it's just a live version of that. Or you can watch on Disney Plus. You can get a year of Disney Plus for the same price and watch as many other programs as you want. It just seems like this is a money grab movie to me. That Disney gave us nothing new with this. And if anything, it kind of weakened it because the young woman who plays Moana in this, her name is Catherine Maya Abia. It's a Hawaiian name. I always mess it up. But anyway, her singing voice is nowhere near as good as the original voice in the original animated version. So we get that weakening of the music. Also, in the original movie, it felt like that Moana was a young girl, young teen, real young teen, which made that whole thing about her story about her having to go off on her own into the oceans to save her island, that much dangerous, that much more exciting. This actress who's playing her is 19 years old, so she kind of looks like a younger woman than a young girl, and so that kind of kills a little bit for me. And then we get The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He did the original voice of Maui, who is the demigod who helps her on her quest in the original animated movie, and he's back to play it in real life. The problem is I thought in the animated movie, Maui is a real smart aleck. He'll say what he thinks. He doesn't care. And when it's animated, I'm sorry, I keep pumping that. When it's animated, it comes across as kind of, cutish. But to see the Johnson do it in real life, it really comes across as smug and arrogant. So I kind of lost the joy of that character. So that being said, if you've never seen the original and nothing to compare it with, you're not going to say, oh, I ruined my life by going to see this.
Right.
I just feel like this is one of those movies where we're in a time where people are kind of counting their pennies and nickels. And it's like, is it worth seeing something that you've already seen and a much better version of it? So I give it a C-.
Oh.
Simply because it did. I wasn't horrified by it. I didn't feel like I wasted my 105 minutes on it. But I do feel like it's just a waste of time for families out there. Unless you say, gosh, it's 105 degrees outside. The kids are rowdy. What can we do for 2 hours? I will pay $70 for them to have to sit in a theater where it's cool. So, but as far as quality of the film, it does nothing. I just feel like it comes across as a money grab.
How much are movie tickets now?
Depending on, I buy the senior ticket, and I have shopped around town because we pay for our own movie tickets. People don't realize that. The AMC right over here is the cheapest movie ticket in town. I saw Moana yesterday and I got a senior ticket, so keep that in mind. It's about $9. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, but that was a matinee senior ticket.
A matinee is $9.
Yeah,
with a senior ticket.
If you would go to a regular, I was looking at other theaters in town. I'm not going to say any names. They were $14, $15.
Really?
To see it. And so, that's what I'm saying. You count that by 4, you're almost to $70.
Yeah.
And then, we all know how expensive popcorn and soda is. So a family of 4 could literally drop $100 going to the movie to see this film. And I could not look them in the face and say, well, that was money well spent.
That's wow. I did not know how expensive motion pictures were these
days.
Yeah,
it was just in the last month or two that the local theaters have raised prices.
Well, that's too bad.
But again, I in defense of them, and I don't need to feel like I have to, but I want to defend. A lot of the theaters have, like the Reading Theater over at the mall, they have half price days on Tuesday.
That's good to know.
There are senior days at some of the other theaters. You should shop around to the theaters and find what's offering you deals. Also, a lot of them have these plans where you sign up with them, and they'll give you a free ticket if you buy so many tickets.
Nice,
yep.
Nice. Yeah, you mentioned senior citizen. I ordered some alcohol at my house and had to, they have to take a picture of your license.
Yeah.
And I just was putting it back into my wallet, and I happened to look at the top. And you know what it says at the top?
Expired?
Senior citizen.
Oh.
And that was the first time I'd noticed that. And I was just like,
yeah, but you can now be a senior citizen at 55. So it's not that bad. And again, there's a lot of perks to being part of.
There is. When I got my new ID,
yep,
was totally free.
Yeah, see.
And I said, it's good to be plus 60.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Believe me.
Hey, the opposite of that is worse. Not being.
It certainly
not
beats
living
the
to
alternative.
be that. Yeah,
it certainly beats the alternative.
I'll take this age anytime.
Rick Bentley, everybody. Quick timeout. Not a lot of time before we get to the top of the hour. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. We're streaming live at kernradio.com. Kernak, the Magnificent. Those were good. Thank you, sir.
Kern Radio.
Where's
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230.
I was going to do some. I just saw a great
Maxwell in the morning. Good till the last
Karnak
drop.
on
If you got
Reels
kids right now,
that
what happens every summer?
I could totally
Well,
update.
No summer jobs
It
available.
could totally make it
And
into
so
the
you end up
21st
having to spend
century.
a lot of money
I was
putting
going to do
into
it.
something that is going to.
I think I'm going to try to go to
You can't do what
a.
we did
I want to
when
make
was
like this
growing
like
up.
a
It just
bit.
doesn't happen anymore.
I want to go
And
like
it's
to
been the
maybe like
death
a
of
Salvation
summer
Army
jobs
or
and really
one of those stores to get one of those some kind of
negative way.
headdress.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
I can get a cape. I got a cape.
96.1 and AM 1230.
Yeah.
KERN.
You know, it must be nice to be able to retire like Serena Williams and then say,
Okay,
I'm
I'll check it out.
unretired. But for most of
'Cause
us,
I'd like to make
that's
the
not
entrance.
the case.
Trip,
You hang
do
it
the
up,
whole
that's
thing, make the
about
whole
it.
bit.
That's why
Yeah,
you've got to be
because
prepared
that was my.
for the late
I never
fourth
liked
quarter
Floyd
in your
R.
lives.
Turbo.
And that's why I always
I-
stress.
I did like,
smartest financial move I have
I
ever
think he
made.
did with Carol Wayne.
Happened about 10 years ago when I became a
with the
client
Dark
of
Vern,
Messmaker and Petrie
Vern
Black.
something.
The other thing I always remind you about.
Tea Time movies
turns out
with
colleagues
Vern,
here at American General
somebody.
Media that Daniel
Those were funny.
could not
Then
be
Carol
happier
Wayne.
about what Daniel has done for them financially.
The Slauson off ramp to the fork of the road and then take the fork of the road. Yeah. And I lived off Slauson Avenue. That's why I love that.
Every Thursday at 4:30, and his office is located.
All right,
on the
sir.
corner of
Always good to
21st
see you.
Daniel Petrie. and the
Appreciate
folks at
you.
Messmaker and Petrie Wealth
Yes,
Advisors.
sir.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only and does
Yeah,
not
we'll
constitute
try.
investment
I'm not
advice or
walking, that's for
solicitation
sure.
or advisory services by
I
Daniel
will.
Petrie or
Thank you.
MPWA
Thank you very
Incorporated,
much.
DBA, Messmaker, and
Take
Petrie Wealth
care.
Advisors. The program host is a client and receives compensation and other financial benefits in connection with this advertisement, creating a conflict of interest. Experiences discussed may not be representative of other clients.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Want it to got it forever. This is your one so let the music take your mind. Please, you will find you're gonna fly away. Glad you're going my way. I love it when we're grooving together. The music was made for love. Grooving is made for love. I love it when we're cruising together. Heading to the 4 o'clock hour, we still got lots to do on the broadcast. We're going to talk a little bit about, let's find out what we're going to talk a little bit about because my writing is so small. We'll talk about the war and how imminent all-out war is and the threats of Donald Trump have to stop. Because we're getting chumped. I'm going to be very, very blunt about this. We are getting chumped by the Iranians. And they're earning millions of dollars because we released their sanctions. We'll get into that next. I'd stick around if I you.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, K241CI Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Testimony has concluded in a pretrial hearing in the Charlie Kirk killing.
You gave an extension?
The Charlie Kirk's murder case allowed his parents, Robert and Catherine, and his widow, Erica, to watch the zoomed-in surveillance video from the day of the shooting.
What's that, 25 a
several
year?
law enforcement officers and analysts involved in the case against Tyler Robinson, Prosecutors have been working to convince a judge that they have enough evidence to put Robinson on trial. But Judge Tony Graff won't decide if the case will progress until after he reads briefs from both parties and hears their arguments on September 1st. I was in court today when that surveillance video was shown. I could see an individual run across the roof of a campus building, then start crawling to the edge, where investigators say there was a line of sight to where Kirk was speaking. His mom and widow cried while watching the tape and held each other in a long embrace.
Correspondent Hannah Schirnbaum reporting from Provo, Utah. A new AP NORC poll finds that many Jewish Americans feel unsafe in the United States, with many saying they feel less safe than before the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7th of 2023.
The findings highlight the vulnerability that many Jewish adults in the U.S. feel as bipartisan support for Israel erodes and significant divides emerge within the Jewish community about what constitutes anti-Semitism, particularly when it comes to protesting Israel. About 3 in 10 say that they or members of their household have experienced physical assault, verbal assault, online harassment, or demanding property because of their Jewish background in the last year.
Correspondent Bernie Bennett reporting. Graham Plattner has submitted his paperwork to formally withdraw from Maine's U.S. Senate race, officially ending an upstart yet troubled campaign whose dissolution threatens Democrats' pursuit of chamber control. On Wall Street, that up by 149 points, the Nasdaq rose 74, the S&P advanced 31. More on these stories at townhall.com.
With things moving fast to resolve the situation in the Middle East, the headlines may change, but the fundamentals haven't. America's debt continues to climb, and uncertainty still hangs over the global economy. That's why investors continue turning to one asset that has stood the test of time: physical gold and silver. For generations, gold has been viewed as a safe haven asset during periods of geopolitical tension and market volatility. That's why Advantage Gold wants to send you a free gold investment guide valued at $49, plus a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's acclaimed book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, when you call 800-900-8000. Discover why central banks are buying gold, why many Americans are diversifying with precious metals, and how a tax and penalty-free rollover into physical gold and silver may fit into your retirement strategy. Don't wait until the next crisis dominates the headlines. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000 right now. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000.
Markets end a roller coaster week higher.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
In the kidnapping of a 10-year-old girl, I'm Chris Davis. Prosecutors say Matthew Makatuno Naval of Elk Grove will face charges of kidnapping a child under 14 to commit lewd or lascivious acts and 2 counts of lewd or lascivious acts with a minor under 14. He was in court Thursday, and it was decided he will face those 3 charges out of the original 7 in the case. Police say Naval kidnapped the 10-year-old girl from her house on Cypress Street in Taft April 12th of last year after meeting her on Roblox. Friends were able to clue detectives in, and the girl was rescued the next day. The family of 25-year-old Ivan Garza is asking questions about how the former Robert F. Kennedy High School graduate and offensive lineman for Sacramento State died. The college posted that he had died Wednesday morning in a crash, and the family posted that he died in a hit and run, and it may have been one that happened in Delano. But police have not made much public comment. The GoFundMe that was set up to help with funeral expenses is also to help the family financially. His family tells Bakersfield Now.
Big day tomorrow.
A fatal wreck was reported last night near the
zucchini.
intersection of Panorama Drive and Haley Street. Bakersfield police say it happened after 10 p.m., but not much more info was available from police.
Because he's got to play.
The person
He's
who
playing
went into the
regardless.
Kern River Independence
he's
Day
got
near
determined
Keysville
on
South
Sunday.
and whose body was found Tuesday has been ID'd by the Kern County Coroner's Office as 24-year-old Gustavo Angel Aria Lara of Newhall.
I may not beat him,
He
but
went
I
into the river just
guarantee
before
I'll
4
bet you
p.m. and then
$20
was
he doesn't beat you by
unresponsive.
more than 4
A
shots.
loaded and stolen semi-automatic pistol and a bong and
No
knife
way.
were found in a car with a
I'm
man who was on
swinging.
probation this week.
I
say
must have
Ridgecrest
swung the club. I went in the
police.
backyard
And now
last
it
night.
appears that 19-year-old Braden Kane
I
will
must have
be
swung my
headed back to
driver
prison
50
after that
times.
pullover
I just
on
found the
Church
spot.
Street. I'm Chris Davis.
This is what I was
in the
doing before.
KERN Newsroom with news every half hour, and when it breaks on
And
News
then
Talk
boom,
96.1,
and see right there, you can see by my hands. The club is wide open. If you come here and come through, it's straight. But if you go like this, there's no way you can get the club face flat. The club face has got to be like that on
Bailey
impact.
Show. News Talk
And when you come
96.1
up like that, you're going to swing back around, and there it is right there.
the promised land. I may not get there with you,
Yes.
but I want you to know tonight
Oh, I didn't send you the rundown?
that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for, live from the KERN studio. Here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Friday. 1:04. I've made both my bottom and top of the hour walks because it's really not that long, but it's painful. I mean, you're grimacing. Even at the beginning of my walk, I'm in the shade and I'm still grimacing. That's how hot it is.
Hard pass.
Huh?
I didn't. I'm good on that.
I got to get my steps in, man. I didn't get anything in this morning, which is stupid because that's the best time to get them in. And if I don't leave for LA tonight, I am going to try to get in 36 holes this weekend. What's wrong? Oh, I didn't change the deal. Not too close, not too close, not too close, not too close. Like Delano would be good. Just move it a little back. Just maybe California Avenue would be good. Don't get too close to the jowls and the. I really, last night I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I was thinking, I am kind of flush right now, and I just need just a little, just right here, just right here, just right here. See the jowls, just right here, just a little, just right there, just right there. That's all I need. That's all I need. And now I'm 54. I can play that off. Right here, I'm 63. Right here, I'm 54. Right there. You know what I'm saying? Did I tell you that no, I better shut up. 842-5376, 842-KERN. We got anything on the board? What do we got? Anything?
Yeah, I got a couple. You're complaining about Caitlin Clark complaining. You even admitted at the top of your show that you were going to complain, just because Caitlin doesn't want to get down, and as dirty as your sisters, you complain about Caitlin.
First of all, they're not my sisters, bigot. Get that straight. Secondly, I don't know if you realize this, but I'm what they call a radio talk show host. And apparently you don't know what the role of a radio talk show host is. So let me explain it to you. See, we hire people, some unfortunately, and they come on and they express their opinions about things. And sometimes they condone them and speak well of them, and sometimes they condemn them and complain about them. And I merely was preparing you for the tenor of the show, because not normally is the show dominated by my complaints, but today's is. And it's not about getting down and dirty with those sisters. You clearly, because of lack of intelligence, didn't understand what I was trying to say. That's why I brought it down way low and used an Andy Griffith episode to make my point. My point wasn't that she should get down with those sisters. My point is, in life, when you are pushed around, the best thing to do is just walk away. Just walk away. No! The best thing to do is to push back and stand up for yourself. And even in cases when you know for a fact you are outmanned and this person is going to hurt me, you still have to stand up for yourself. And I've used my own self as an example. A busboy once was stealing money from me when I was a short-time waiter. One of the customers brought it to my attention. That busboy keeps taking your tips. He was a gay kid, but he was about 6'2", probably about 230, 240. This is 1985, so I'm 23 years old. I'm probably 5'11", $1.80, $1.85. And I said, we're going to go out in the parking lot and I'm going to whoop your ass after our night tonight. And to make a long story short, this kid came out, windmilling punches at me, caught me in the face, lost my balance. He caught me again, knocked me to the ground, jumped on top of me, and beat the crap out of me. Tore my favorite shirt because I was going on a great date with a great ballet dancer, Diana the ballet dancer. You ever had girlfriends or situations that just pop up and you think back, God, Danielle the ballet dancer. Anyway, tore my favorite black polo, gave me a fat lip. I was bleeding from the mouth. I was bleeding from the nose. And yet I still had the audacity to say, but I bet you won't take my tips again tomorrow night, because if you do, we'll be right back out here again. Ralph, you're bleeding. I know I'm bleeding. I don't care. You won't take my tips again. We'll be right back out here tomorrow. And I won't wear this black polo again, but we're going to go at it again. I'll tell you that. And guess what? The kid never touched my tips again. Even though he could beat the crap out of me the next night and the next night and the next night, he never touched my tips again. So now, I'm sure you don't because of limited IQ. You probably still don't understand the point I was trying to make. To get down with those sisters. You guys are lucky that I have a limited edit in my mind, because there are a lot of things I'd like to say right now that I'm just not. What else you got?
ISIS killed another brown person, Mr. Arahio.
Yeah, we're
was
getting
shot
that.
in the stomach and these federal agents stood around and watched him bleed out because his life didn't matter. 35 years in this country, small business owner, never even had a speeding ticket. And of course, ISIS claiming self-defense with no evidence, because if they had proof, they would prove the self-defense claim.
Funny. Let's take a break, because that's the next topic of the day. And I'll let you know where I stand on this. That's a great lead in to what we're going to talk about next. And then maybe at the bottom of the hour, we'll get back to the board. Our phone number, 842-5376, 842-KERN. Anything you want to talk about, feel free to jump in here. 842-5376, 842-KERN. You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, and we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, first of all, we got the hot list. We have the latest. We'll tell you who won Wimbledon. We got the latest on the human foosball. Is Mitch McConnell dead or alive? Who knows? We're going to find. Maybe we'll find out today. And then we'll talk jobs with America's Job Center at Kern. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. Right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Dr. Roland Rodriguez.
Hello, this is Bakersfield General Surgeon Dr. Roland Rodriguez, client and friend of Mr. Paul Sheldon. It is my great pleasure and privilege to relate to all of you my absolute exemplary experience with Team Paul Sheldon. I have also referred a number of my colleagues to Paul Sheldon's office, only to receive the most stellar feedback from my doctor friends regarding the office's expert navigation through the complex maze that is Medicare. And even though Paul Sheldon himself is now facing some temporary health challenges, his longstanding and most experienced and expertly trained team of ladies, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn, continue to masterfully guide the clients through the complicated world of Medicare. You most definitely could not possibly do any better than to reach out to Paul Sheldon.
What is really going on?
Thank you.
When
What's happening?
matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298. Hey, I'm not one to say I told you so, but do you remember last year when I told you that Pure Talk was hands down the best wireless company that I'd ever used? Well, some of you were skeptical, but Consumer Reports just asked 120,000 people to rate every wireless company in America, including the big boys. Well, Guess which company was the only company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. No service contracts, no cancellation fees, just great U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network for a fraction of what you've been paying. I'm not going to say I told you so, but I will encourage you one more time to dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
Look, folks, you already know that your garage door is a very important.
Oh, that's
part
right.
of
You're
your home.
producing
From
next
the
week,
overall
huh?
look of the place to the safety and security
What
it
days?
provides. So obviously, you should only trust the service, repair, and maintenance of your garage door to the pros at King Door Company. Their skill and product knowledge are unmatched in the industry, and that's no accident. The techs at King Door are rigorously trained at the King Door Academy. That's right. King Door has an in-house training facility to make sure your job is done right on the first try. They're trained in all the latest equipment, tools, and techniques. They even learn how to listen to customer concerns through role-playing exercises. And you'll see how well all this training works when they show up right on time in fully stocked service trucks with all the parts and equipment to service or repair any garage door. Like I said, your garage door is a very important part of your home, so leave it to the pros at King Door Company. Schedule your appointment today at kingdoor.com. King Door Company, the company with the pride of a lion. Hey, folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to The Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
It's not the ribbons in your hair. I don't mind you hanging here and wasting all my time. The Cars. Are they all still alive? Or did Rick die? The one that had the really hot wife. Did he die?
Yeah, I thought because he died not too long ago.
Did he?
I don't know. Let me double check that before we start killing people.
Yeah, but yeah, let's don't kill people. I'm pretty sure he passed away. Pretty sure, because I remember her making a comment, because I think they divorced. He married a really famous model. And the only reason that stands out is because he was an extremely ugly man. And it just goes to show you, musicians, politicians, celebrities, essentially people with money, doesn't matter what you look like.
So Rick died in 2019.
Okay.
And
Wow.
Benjamin Orr died in 2000.
Wow.
Outside of that, everybody else is still alive.
Wow. That was a great
Guitarist,
band.
the keyboardist, and the drummer are all still kicking.
I'm old enough. I saw him live. Saw him live at the Santa Monica Auditorium. I still owe Hugh Evans $50, as a matter of fact. I was really kind of reluctant to get into this because I know the audience is totally against me on this, except for, I guess, that one texter. The story of Lorenzo Salgado Arroyo, a 52-year-old man who'd been here for 35 years. He had absolutely no criminal record. He had absolutely no moving violations. But his son, who's a very articulate young man, and I should have got the audio. In fact, Chris, can you see if you can pull up anything on Arroyo's son? It's Lorenzo, and it's spelled Araujo. Anything, any 10, 15 seconds of his son. I apologize. I should have put this on the rundown. But he's an extremely young, articulate young man who explained that his father was coming from work or going to work, and he had been robbed a couple of times. And the ICE agents, and this is what's inexcusable, for all the hundreds of millions of dollars Congress has allotted to ICE agents, the Bakersfield Police Department is better armed than ICE agents. And when I say armed, I don't necessarily mean guns, but these idiots did not have cameras on their bodies. How is that possible? How are we allotting hundreds of millions to ICE agents and they don't have cameras? But here in Mayberry RFD, our cops, every single one of them has a camera on their chest. They didn't even have a dash cam on their cars, and the cars were unmarked. So here's this 35-year resident of this country driving to work, no criminal record, no traffic violations. He's being chased by some unmarked car. Of course he ran. What's he? They don't have any alarms. They had no blue, no insignia, no nothing. He knows that a car is following him. This is a guy who is a victim of crimes where they come in and steal his tools from his van. And now they're saying that he tried to ram the car. So you're saying, well, Ralph, why don't you believe this? Because there were 3 witnesses. There were 3 witnesses. And I assure you that some way, somewhere, somehow, some video is going to pop up. Whether it's from the city, because what you probably, most of you, because we have an intelligent audience, realize there are cameras all over this city, in intersections, coming out of businesses, all over this city. And I would be shocked if there's either somebody didn't have it on their phone or some business doesn't have it. And then we'll find out where he was shot in the gut. He was shot in the stomach. So let's find out the facts. Let's wait. But this sounds hinky as all hell. Did you cut it already?
I have a clip from his son.
What's his son's name? Does it say?
I didn't catch the name. To be
Here
honest.
is Lorenzo Salgado Arroyo's young son.
These were 2 SUVs, unmarked, no flashing lights, chasing him. One of my dad's biggest fears was for his work van and tools to be stolen.
And he wasn't even the target. They were going after somebody else. And they happened to see this van. And so they said, what the hell? Let's rouse them as well. Look, I'm a supporter of ICE. I'm not a democratic socialist. I'm not one of these people that thinks that we need to get rid of ICE. But we need to train these guys. These guys are out of control. The number of dead Americans since this whole deportation exercise has begun is now up to 8. 8. This is crazy. All the way back to Renee Good, all the way back to Alex Preddy. We talked about that the other day, where Renee Good was supposed to have used her car as a weapon. But if, in fact, the officer was in danger, she would have been shot in the face, right? If I'm in front of a car and it's coming at me and I've got to stop it, I'm going to shoot you, and I would shoot you in the face. But we now know that Renee Good was shot in the temple. So unless she was driving, looking to her right as she drove at the officer, he shot her as she went by. We know that. That's logic. Alex Preddy was involved with a situation with ICE prior to his fatal shooting. And yes, he was armed. And in fact, he committed a felony. They had the right to haul him off to jail and did not do so. If you remember, in that first encounter, he kicked out the back brake light of the van that the federal workers were using. So that's federal property. That's a felony. My point is, these people don't need to die. No one, let me say this. No one who is not armed and is not pointing a gun at a police officer should never die in a traffic stop. I understand if you're a cop and you're listening, you're like, Bailey, you have no idea what you're talking about, because traffic stops are some of the most dangerous things that cops encounter. I understand that. I used to cover the cops. I know a lot of cops. I've gone on several ride-alongs. I understand that. But I still insist, and maybe Sheriff Youngblood and the new police chief will disagree with me, I just don't think that an American citizen should ever, if they're not armed and they're not pointing a weapon of any kind at an officer, an American citizen should never die at a traffic violation. That is insane. And I just think this, a 35-year resident, and maybe those are the folks that you want out. Maybe there are a bunch of you that believe that everybody that's here illegally should go. And you could make a decent argument. 35 years, they say he was working on getting his papers. Well, where you been, coach? What's taking you so long? You've been there 35 years. That doesn't, I don't think, take away from the fact that this man shouldn't have died. There's video of him writhing on the ground. They shot him in the belly, which is one of the worst things that could ever happen to you, because you're not going to die immediately. You're going to desanguinate, essentially. You're going to bleed to death, and you suffered internal injuries. You know, they should be criticized for not providing help, but to be honest with you, there's not much you can do for a gunshot wound to the gut, not at the scene. The best thing you can do is try to stop the bleeding, and good luck with that. As I've told you guys, if you've never really seen a gunshot victim, particularly in the upper torso, you really have no idea how much blood is involved. I've told you the story. I was working at the LA Sentinel, and it was a Tuesday night. It was the night that we put the paper to bed. And we were told never to leave the newspaper because we worked on 43rd and Central, right in the heart of South Central. And it was gang area. I've told you, we got shot at whenever Betty Pleasant, our managing editor, would write a anti-gun column. We knew. In fact, Betty would tell the staff, Thursday, I'm writing a anti-gang thing, so everybody be careful. Be careful coming in and out of the newspaper. Be careful when you're outside. Don't spend a lot of time in the parking lot, because it was like clockwork. And the paper would come out on the Tuesday. We weren't there. We had Wednesdays off because we were there all night. And they would come by either Thursday or Friday and shoot up the newspaper. Just shoot it up. So one night, I'm so starving that I can't stay in the building. And I've got to walk up a couple of blocks to the Jack in the Box. And I hear this tat, 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 tat. And I have no idea. I don't know whether I was just so young that I didn't understand the sound of gunfire, or whether I was just so used to hearing it in the area that it didn't even faze me. But I still continued to go up. And then all of a sudden, I started to see a crowd crowding around the drive-thru at the Jack in the Box. And so I was one of the first people there. And they had boxed in a gang member, kind of like Sonny Corleone style, and just lit this kid up in the driver's seat. And when I got there, he was laying prone like this, and it looked like someone had taken a bucket of red paint and just thrown it on him, then got another bucket of red paint and thrown it on him. I literally could not tell you, not based on my memory, but based on the amount of blood on this kid, what color shirt he was wearing. So you get shot in the gut, and you're going to bleed out so quickly that there's really nothing they could do. And why these guys, these ICE agents, are so quick to shoot people, I just don't understand. If they don't have tasers, they should. And to simply say that it's self-defense because they were trying to ram you, anybody believe that? You really believe that? A 35-year member of this country who has a family, who has a job, who has no reason to flee from police or any other thing. I suspect, as his son has said, he never ever knew that these guys were cops. Never ever knew it. And the idea that we've got ICE agents running around in unmarked cars with no dash cam and no cameras on their person, despite the hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're asking for more. They're going to get more money from Congress. And yet, in a city like this, these guys did not have cameras. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But the truth will rear its ugly head sooner or later. We head into the back half of the hour. We still got lots to talk about. I'll tell you the poor Dodger news when we get into the 5 o'clock hour. And the finals for both the men and women are set for Wimbledon Saturday and Sunday. We'll get you into that. In the meantime, you're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
News. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Lawyers for the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk are trying to sow doubt about the case. But a prosecutor countered Friday that authorities have overwhelming evidence against defendant Tyler Robinson. That includes DNA tests and apparent confessions by Robinson to people he knew. A Utah judge is deciding whether prosecutors have enough evidence to put Robinson on trial. Graham Plattner has submitted his paperwork to formally withdraw from Maine's U.S. Senate race, officially ending an upstart yet troubled campaign whose dissolution threatens Democrats' pursuit of chamber control. Plattner's paperwork was received Friday by the Maine's Secretary of State's office. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 149 points, the Nasdaq rose 74, the S&P advanced 31. This is SRN News.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds,
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
The kidnapping of a 10-year-old girl from her house in Taft last year has led to 3 charges against Matthew Macatuno Naval of Elk Grove. It was decided in court Thursday he will be made to stand trial on those charges and the case can go forward. The girl was kidnapped April 12th of last year. The heat wave that began Thursday is expected to last well into next week, with the National Weather Service predicting highs of around 103 through the weekend and going up. Tuesday, the high at 104 and Wednesday, 105. A fatal wreck was reported last night near the intersection of Panorama Drive and Haley Street. Bakersfield police say it happened after 10 p.m., but not much more info was available from police. California's average price for gas inches back up to $5.33 per gallon, says Gas Buddy. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Before you hit the road for the holidays, make sure your car is ready for the journey. Kern Oil Change keeps your engine running smooth and your family safe. No appointments needed. Just drive in and their fast, friendly team will get you back on the road in minutes. Don't wait till you're stuck on the side of the road. Stop by Kern Oil Change today and travel with confidence this holiday season. Kern Oil Change has 2 locations to serve you: 3706 Coffee Road and 5651 Auburn Street. Kern Oil Change is open 7 days a week. Follow us on Instagram for additional savings.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Central Valley remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Maxwell in the morning. Good till the last mic drop.
A educational conversation between J.D. Vance and Bill Maher. This is the opportunity. This is the door that's been opened. You got 13 members now of the Democrat Party saying, hey, we like capitalism. And this is the opportunity for other Democrats that agree with Bill Maher that let's take our party back and let's get off this road to socialism.
Weekdays 9 to noon, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
842-5376, 842-KERN. What else? You got anything else on the board before you're going?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Alex McCord and Martin Milner and Adam 12.
Yes. Thank you. I couldn't come up with, what was the other guy's name? Not Milner, but who's the other guy?
Alex McCord.
I couldn't come up with that. But Martin Milner was a very famous character actor. He made his debut in The Sweet Smell of Success. There's a great 50s movie with Tony Curtis, Burt Lancaster, and the aforementioned Martin Milner, who was a young trumpet player who gets set up by Tony Curtis. And as they say in Hollywood, that's where the hijinks begin. I couldn't have come up with Alex McCord, but everybody, every kid growing up during that period watched Emergency, FBI, and Adam 12. Great, great shows. Thanks for the name of the stars. I don't know why you felt necessary to give us the name of the stars, but thank you. Thank you for that info. What else you got?
She was shot in the face, chest, and temple, and the officer was struck by the front of her car.
She was not struck in the face.
She was not struck in the face. That is absolutely incorrect. Absolutely incorrect. She was struck in the temple. And she was not trying to run over the officer. Did she play a role in her death? Yes. She should have never left. Her little girlfriend was on the other side of the car screaming, "Go, go, go." She should have never left. But so what are you saying? She should have been shot? She should have been shot to death? Is that what you're saying? Alex Preddy should have been shot to death? Really? These tough guys couldn't take these people down. They have their license plate. I've said this about high-speed chases. I've never understood high-speed chases. I think cops enjoy high-speed chases. I truly do, despite the fact that we've lost fairly recently an officer who was involved in a high-speed chase. What I think you have to understand about cops, and I know I'm going to get beat to hell out of this. I'll probably get a text message from Donnie Youngblood. I don't know the police chief well enough for him to call me, but I'll probably get beat up on this. But it is a boring job. It's like warfare. It's like warfare. Have you ever heard warfare described by somebody who was in warfare? It is complete tedium with moments of just pure chaos. And that's what police work is like. And I think for these guys, many of them in the military, that's the highlight of the job. That coming around and dealing with homeless people or DUIs or domestic violence, that's the down of the job. But the excitement of the job is he's running. He's running. And I'm sorry, I believe they get a thrill out of that. That's the adrenaline. We get to drive as fast as we want to get this guy. We get to run and chase him. And then I think for these ICE agents, unlike police officers who are thoroughly trained, I think with these ICE agents who I think are poorly trained, they are eager as hell to pull that gun. And they've given precedent, PRECEDENT. There's been an event that has allowed them to say, they'll back us. I know Christy Noem, the dog shooter's gone, but they'll still back us. Wayne Mullen will back us. And all we have to say is self-defense. Self-defense? Self-defense against a harmless, armless man? How is that self-defense? You were going to get run over by the car? Well, then get out of the way of the car. And you've got the license plate? Where are they going? That's why I've never understood police chases. Where are they going? You don't think you're going to find these people eventually? But it's the thrill of the chase. What? We get to go 90? And in fact, police have actually moderated the police chases because they realize that they're putting other people in harm. They've now started to back off. They've now started to realize because, and again, I'm very biased. You got to understand from whence I come. My cousin, Wilbur Sewsbury's daughter, damn near lost her life in a police chase. No, she wasn't a suspect. She was minding her business right around downtown by the Bonaventure, and there was a bank robbery right near the Bonaventure. It's almost straight out of Heat. Remember the movie Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro? It's straight out of, it was right around that area. In fact, I'm not going to say that because it might have been the very same bank, but there was a bank robbery going on. This is years and years ago. And Michelle was just minding her own business, and she was in an intersection with the green light, and they were in the midst of a speed chase, and the police officer broadsided her from the right side, thank God. And she had a broken femur and a displaced hip, and that was from the opposite side. Can you imagine had she been hit on the driver's side? So I'm biased. I have a family member, a loved one, who's been the victim of one of these police chases. So this eagerness to go chase these guys when you've got their plate, and once you've got their plate, they can run a make on the person and they know exactly where they live, but it's on to the chase. And I think they dig it. I think they live for it. I think that's the highlight of the job. Just like this is kind of a mundane job where I tell the same stories and we kind of do the same things. And then there's an incident that occurs. It gives me an opportunity to really get into something. And that's a highlight for me. And that's the thrill of the show. I get excited. You can almost hear it in my voice. And I think for police officers, in particular for ICE agents, they get high on this. I really believe that. And I know I'm going to get beat to hell on this by police officers and people that support the police, that I'm going to be called an anti-cop guy, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't care less. I could not care less, because I honestly believe that. 8 people are dead from our ICE agents since we've started this roundup. It's crazy. What else you got?
As a retired police officer, no one that complies with commands ever gets hurt or killed. It's the dead person's fault for their own death.
That's my response. Because if I talk, I'm going to say something that I regret. Because that's about as stupid a thing as I've ever heard in my damn life. Good God Almighty. You're right. The cops are 100% right. The cops are never wrong. They have never killed one person who didn't deserve to die. My bad. Let me just retract everything I just said. You are absolutely right. The police have never been in error, because there are certain jobs where people just don't make errors. And police officing is one of them. You're absolutely right. You know what I'm starting to understand?
What's that now?
I think people do this just to
get under your
just
skin?
to see me go off.
Yeah,
I really, really do. Because there's no cop that would write that. Read that again. No, think about this. This is supposed to be a Bakersfield police officer or a Kern County sheriff, or maybe even an LA cop who happens to live up here. Listen to this stupidity.
As a retired police officer, no one that complies with commands ever gets hurt or killed. It's the dead person's fault for their own death. Yeah, you're right. No cop would ever say that.
No cop would ever.
No sensible cop would ever say that.
Would ever in a million years.
If you are a retired cop,
you're 98 years old.
Yeah, I have reason to believe you were potentially reprimanded for something at some point during your career.
That is comical, is what that is. That is comical. And that came from like a 28-year-old who listens to the show. Is
possible.
I love when Bailey gets pissed. Let me see if I can piss him off.
They're watching on YouTube right now.
Hey, Ralph, no cop has ever killed somebody that didn't deserve it. That's the dead guy's fault. Signed, Donnie Youngblood. No, Donnie would never, ever say something like that. That is insane. One more, and let's take a break. See if you can get me pissed again.
Well, I got a couple in there if you want to.
Yeah, let's get after it.
One just came through and said, "Loved the retired law enforcement officer is 100% correct, Ralph. What is police officiating, Ralph?"
So you are not willing to admit that police make mistakes. Really? You found an industry in which they're all good apples. There's not a bad egg on the police force, right? Well, what about the guy that was slapping his wife around in front of the VIP? And what about the Diaz brothers, who I played golf with, by the way, who were stealing drugs? There's no such thing as a bad cop, huh? Yeah, you're right. Silly me. Why would I think that? Yeah, I got to rethink that. You're right. I apologize. There's no such thing as a bad cop. The police industry is the only industry in which there are no bad people. You're right. You're absolutely right. One more. This is getting good.
Let's see. We watched the new remake of Little House on the Prairie, and it was surprisingly good. This one isn't obviously going to get you. You don't care for Little House on the Prairie.
Although I did go to high school with Melissa Gilbert. Although she rarely went to high school. Why did she rarely go to high school, Chris?
Because she was acting all the time.
She was shooting on Little House on the Prairie. And I also sat next to Leslie Landon. Should I tell my inappropriate Leslie Landon story? I used to have sex with Leslie Landon when I was in 6th grade. 6th grade sex. I was one of the better athletes in 6th grade, which, believe me, at the Buckley School doesn't say much. And so I would get to pick the teams, whether we were playing kickball or softball. At recess, I got to pick the teams. And I had a gargantuan crush on Leslie Landon, Michael Landon's second oldest daughter. She was a tall girl, just beautiful, and just as sweet as she could be. So I would pick the teams. And I would always have Leslie either hit in front of me or she would hit behind me. So that way, when we sat on the bench, we would sit next to each other and we would have shorts on and our thighs would touch. And for a sixth grader from Cerritos, California, touching the thigh of Michael Landon's daughter, that was sex. That was, I was good. Mr. Goodman would be like, all right, Bailey, you're up. And I'd be like, yes, I am, Mr. Goodman. So you're going to have to wait just a second. What? Hang on, Mr. Goodman. I'll be there in a second. Grandma, mom, grandma. Come on, Bailey, get up. It's your turn. I'm coming, Mr. Goodman. Grandma, baseball, Dusty Baker. Okay, I'm ready. Why? Leslie Landon. Inappropriate story. True, but inappropriate. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, I got some other stuff to get to. We'll talk about the war situation. We will get into the other plea deal that the district attorney's office has made. A young boy in a marijuana stupor killed a beloved grandmother, and he's going to do less than 4 years in prison. And if you can make sense of that, please feel free to text. Apparently I don't understand anything. I don't understand that police officers are absent of any wrongdoing. There's no such thing as a bad cop, according to my audience. Not a one. Funny, I've done stories on bad cops. It's weird. It's strange. And we've had bad cops in the news. We've had bad cops in Kern County go to jail. Stealing stuff from the evidence room. We just have a deputy go to jail over that. But you're right. They never make mistakes. Quick time out. More of the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. We're streaming live, KernRadio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, first of all, we got the hot list. We have the latest. We'll tell you who won Wimbledon. We got the latest on the human foosball. Is Mitch McConnell dead or alive? Who knows? We're going to find, maybe we'll find out today. And then we'll talk jobs with America's Job Center at Kern. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. Right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and 1230 KERN.
Next time you go to Luigi's, you must, and I mean you must begin in the deli. What started as a situation where Gino's grandfather or great-grandfather just wanted to feed fellow Italian in the neighborhood and then became a little grocery store. And now Lynette Valpredo has come back years ago and has absolutely transformed the deli. As I talk about, she's one of the best sommeliers you'll ever run into. Her specialty is Italian wines. Go in there, check out the merch. If you're a foodie, the deli is a place for you. Use all of the Luigi seasonings that I use in my own home. Then maybe go have a cocktail with Julie in the bar, head outside. With this kind of weather, you might want to stay inside with Liz and all the other incredible staffers at Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen. But that's the way to start. In the deli, a little Prosecco, maybe a little Italian wine, a little merge. I'm just telling you. And if you're a foodie, it's the place for you. Where would you rather be than Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen, longtime sponsor of the Ralph Bailey Show?
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
The U.S. Treasury just released its official financial report for 2025. Buried in it is a startling admission. By its own numbers, it appears the U.S. government is insolvent. When governments go this deep in debt, they print money, raise taxes, or cut benefits, none of which can help protect you. That's why people move part of their savings into physical gold and silver. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old 5.
Is Shohei hurt?
Yeah.
Is he? Oh, that makes sense. They just replaced him on the All-Star team, so that's all.
Yeah, that's the bad news I was going to give him. He's supposed to pitch tonight.
There is a place where stories twist like cobblestone roads. Grand Man.
Also, Schwarber announced today he's in the home run derby.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Schwarber and Bryce are going to be in it.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Other Bennett sister from the world of Jane Austen and a woman of substance starring Golden Globe winner Brenda Blethyn. If you want to get away, you're in the right place. Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Free trial at BritBox.com.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox Radio.
ERN. Should I check the chat room? I'm sure they've chimed in on this. Let's find out.
Sure, why not?
Let's find out what the chat room's talking about. Please stand by.
YouTube's got some better answers.
The what?
I was saying maybe YouTube's got some better answers.
One says, hang on a second. I'm an old man. They just showed that episode of Andy Griffith with the bully yesterday on TV Land. Great episode. I was alluding to Standing Up for Yourself, and there's a great Andy Griffith episode where a kid is taking Opie's milk money, and he keeps giving it to him. He keeps borrowing money from Aunt B because he doesn't have any milk money because he had to give it to the kid. And then he has to borrow money from Andy, and he has to borrow money from Barney, and then they obviously get together. Wait a minute, I gave him a nickel too. So they confront him, and then Andy gives him the speech that sometimes, son, you have to stand up to a bully. Even if you think you're going to get beat up, you have to stand up to the bully. And he does, and he gets a black eye, and he comes and he's happy about it, and the episode ends well. But the point was, we were talking about Caitlin Clark and her getting beat up, and the point was, and some guy made some racial comment, the point is, every now and again in life, whether it's intellectually or at your job or physically with someone, you have to stand up. It's what's lacking in the Republican Party. There are things that are going on, both parties, where the Democratic Party should have stood up for the right thing and stood up to this Nazi bully, but they wanted the seat so badly that they were willing to deal with him. You see what happens when your principles and your level of morals, there are just certain principles that we should all live by. And one of them is standing up for yourself. Just saying. What else we got in here? Just watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou with George Clooney. I don't get that reference, Mary. That was Mary Marcus. I don't know. We talk about George? Yeah, we weren't talking about George Clooney today, were we?
I don't remember, unless that was the man who passed away and maybe did something with Clooney, but I'm not sure.
He played Gage on Emergency? No, he didn't. What are you talking about, Mary? He didn't play Gage on Emergency. What are you talking about?
Clooney did?
She's saying George Clooney played Gage on Emergency. Unless there was a reboot that I'm not aware of. Stella says, Ralph, you might have read the Iliad, also written by Homer. I read the Iliad and the Odyssey. The Iliad is during the war, and Odyssey is after the war, if I remember correctly. Well, I may not know the story correctly, but I know I read both the Iliad and the Odyssey. I read the Iliad in English, and I read Odyssey in Latin class. That I remember vividly. And I just remember, the only thing I remember is, and Brick did make allusions to this, I thought he said that he had a bow that she pulled, and if the other guys could pull it, then he could be their suitor, kind of like the sword in the Rock with King Arthur. But I thought it was she was weaving something, and she said when she finished weaving, she would take a suitor, and then at night she would tear apart. Did you read the Odyssey?
I have not. No.
Oh, I thought you were,
I know the gist of it, but I have not actually read it.
well, I saw you bobbing your head. I thought you were agreeing with me.
I was talking to him.
Oh, okay. What else we got in here? Hang on. What is wrong with the DA office? Why are they giving out these weak sentences? That is the question of the day, Mary. I don't know whether it's fear, because I don't think it's a coincidence that in the two most recent sweetheart deals that were passed out, that the attorneys happen to be, in my opinion, two of the single best defense attorneys in this town, David Torres and H.A. Sala. And I think there may be, and I'm speculating, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I know maybe 3 people in the DA's office, and those were the people that helped me with the prosecution of the guy that slammed me in the jaw. But it seems to me that they are fearful of H.A., and as well they should be, because he bamboozled the damn AG's office. And, you know, I have stood up for Cynthia Zimmer in terms of the ridiculous belief by Kern County that she had something to do with her nephew's sweetheart deal. I have full-throatedly, vehemently tried to explain to you all she had nothing to do with that. And if you think that she could get on the phone and talk to Rob Bonta is a liberal Democrat. Do you really think he and Cynthia Zimmer are pals? Do you really think they exchange phone calls? Now, there's a remote possibility, because I think entitlement and power kind of supersedes political parties. You know what I'm saying? And there may be this sense of doing a solid for a fellow prosecutor. There could be that element, I'll grant you. But without any evidence, I can't say that's the fact on the radio. But that's a very distinct possibility, that the top cop in California was trying to give the top cop in Kern County and her nephew a solid, because there's the lack of a sex charge on Zach Scrivener is absolutely inexplicable. And then Joe Penny, this idiot that they sent down here to match sabers with H.A. Sala, then slams his shoe on the desk, screaming that they were robbed, that he got mental diversion. So now you're either telling me they didn't know that he'd get mental diversion based on what they charged, which makes them stupid and incompetent, or this was all an orchestrated situation to make sure that Zach Scrivener would not spend 10 seconds in a jail cell. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday with Michael Gates. He is the Republican running for Attorney General. And there's going to be a crackdown on this mental diversion nonsense. But unfortunately for Mr. Scrivener and for our community, it's a little bit too late. And finally, Oh Brother is an adaptation of the Odyssey. I did not know that. Nice info, Mary. Did I know that? I did not know that. I did not know that, Mary. That's great information. And Mary also writes, and I was telling you the Randolph Mantooth played Gage on Everything, not the Doctor. Okay, well, I got that screwed up.
I was going to say, because Clooney, I was thinking, unless she's talking about ER, but his name still wasn't Gage in ER.
Yeah, I still don't get the George Clooney reference, Mary, but everything else makes sense, and I appreciate you tightening me up. Let us head into the final hour of the week. Thank you, Jesus. It's been a long week. It's been a long 2 weeks, actually. It really has been. I don't know why. Just drama. And you just got to ride it out, man. When drama comes, you just got to ride it out like a bad wave. Quick time out. We're coming back for the final hour of the show. Don't go anywhere.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K416 Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
Town Hall, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Graham Plattner has formally withdrawn from Maine's U.S. Senate race.
The Maine Secretary of State's office has received paperwork from Graham Plattner, officially ending his upstart but troubled campaign for U.S. Senate. The formal withdrawal comes 2 days after Plattner said he would quit the race. It can't be made. After a sexual assault allegation that he denies. Maine Democrats have until July 27th to name a new nominee. Democratic Party committee members have signed off on holding a nominating convention. Maine's considered key for control of the U.S. Senate, and Democrats are looking for a candidate capable of defeating Republican Senator Susan Collins. I'm Ben Thomas.
President Trump is aware that he's enemy number one on a particular list. More details from correspondent Laura Winters.
It appears President Trump is well aware of the intelligence that he is number one on Iran's hit list. The information shared with the U.S. by the Israelis, who are warning of a new plot to take out President Trump in retaliation for him taking out top leaders in Iran. Earlier in the week at the NATO summit in Turkey, President Trump telling reporters,
there was another list came out yesterday, and I'm number one on, I like being number one on TikTok better, but I'm number one on the list for killing.
Laura Winters reporting.
The U.S. is demanding that Iran make a public statement saying the Strait of Hormuz is open and that ships crossing the vital corridor won't be attacked anymore. That's according to senior U.S. officials who said internal Tehran power struggles have made it difficult to reach and keep a deal. Officials describe a rogue faction of Iranian hardliners trying to sabotage the ceasefire between Tehran and Washington. On Wall Street, the Dow by 149 points, the Nasdaq rose 74, the S&P advanced 31. More at townhall.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Conversations about how Caitlin Clark is treated on.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
In the kidnapping of a 10-year-old girl, I'm Chris Davis. Prosecutors say Matthew Macatuno Naval of Elk Grove will face charges of kidnapping a child under 14 to commit lewd or lascivious acts and 2 counts of lewd or lascivious acts with a minor under 14. He was in court Thursday.
Well, she's saying it's based on the Odyssey, but I don't. Maybe I didn't read the Odyssey because I don't see any comparison between the Odyssey and Brother, Where Art Thou?
And tapped April 12th of last year after meeting her on Roblox. Friends were able to clue detectives in, and the girl was rescued the next day.
See that the father
The family of
relationship and
25-year-old Ivan
But
Garza is
Odyssey,
asking
he's a
questions
prisoner.
about how
He's a
the former
criminal.
Robert F. Kennedy High School graduate and offensive lineman for Sacramento State
That-
died. The college
No, I'm
posted
saying
that
that's
he
what I'm
died
saying.
Wednesday
Clooney was a
morning in
criminal.
crash, and the family posted that he died in
The
a
Prince?
hit and run, and it may have been one that happened in Delano. But
He
police have
wasn't a-
not made
well, I
much
guess that's a
public comment. The GoFundMe
Slade?
that was set up to help
I
with funeral
guess.
expenses is also
And he
to
is
help the
trying to get
family
back to his
financially,
wife.
his family tells
And that's
Bakersfield
what
Now.
Clooney's
A
doing.
fatal wreck was reported last night near the intersection of Panorama Drive and Haley Street. Bakersfield police.
That's
say
what I
it
said.
happened
It's a
after
great
10
cast.
p.m.,
And
but not
Zendaya
much
was
more
on the
info
Today
was
Show.
available from
I
police.
take everything
The
I
person who
said
went into the
back
Kern River
about
Independence Bay
Zendaya.
near Keysville South and
They
whose body was
uglied
found
her
Tuesday
up in
has been
Euphoria.
ID'd by the Kern County Coroner's
That girl
Office
is
as 24-year-old
fine.
Gustavo Angel
She had some
Lara
makeup and
of
some
New
clothes
Hall.
on today. I was
Police say
like,
he went into the
I didn't
river
even
at
recognize her.
4 p.m.
I swear to
and then was
God.
unresponsive A loaded and stolen semi-automatic pistol and a bong and
She
meth were
plays,
found in a car with the man who was on probation
she
this
plays
week,
the
St. Louis Press
goddess
Police.
in
And now
the
it appears
film,
that 19-year-old
and
Braden Kane will be headed back
her
to prison
boyfriend's
after
in it.
that
What's her
pullover
boyfriend's name?
on Church Street.
Yeah, he's in it as
I'm
well.
Chris Davis in the KERA newsroom with News 3 Half Hour. And
So
when
I'm
it
watching the
on News
crew.
Talk 96.1
You know how they
and
do it?
AM
They have the whole
1230,
crew. It's like
KERN.
4 chairs and thing, and 4 people stand up. And so I see Zendaya, but I have no idea who she is. And I'm like, damn, that's a cute girl. And then they interview the boyfriend first, and he goes, well, yeah, I wasn't supposed to tell Z. And he points down, he says, I wasn't supposed to tell Z, but I told her. And I go, that's not it. And then they're like, well, Zendaya. And I'm like, but I want you to know that's Zendaya? They uglied her up big time before that.
Call or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376.
I take everything I said back.
KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast, final hour of the week as we wrap up 5 long days of outstanding radio broadcasting right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, where we stream live at kernradio.com and on YouTube as well. We still got lots to do in the 5 o'clock hour. I've got some bad news to give to Dodger fans. You probably know already, but I'll have that for you. We know who is playing in the finals tomorrow morning on the women's side, and then on Sunday on the men's side. No surprise on the men, and an absolute shock on the women's, but we'll get into that. And I've got some other miscellaneous news and notes, and I've got some audio that I want to play for you in regards to our lead story of the day, which is some reason, somehow, the preliminary hearing is going to be extended all the way till September 1. Till September 1 is when we'll find out whether this goes to trial. Tyler Robinson being the man that, I have to say this, allegedly shot Charlie Kirk. Opinion-wise, there's no question in my mind that he is the assassin. And I only base that on a couple of loose facts. You know, I don't have much, but just a couple of loose facts. The fact that his DNA is on the trigger of the rifle, the fact that his DNA is on the towel that was wrapped around the rifle, the fact that his DNA is on the rifle, the fact that he left a note for his boyfriend that said that he was going to kill Charlie Kirk, the fact that he confessed to his boyfriend. Did you really do this? Yes, I did this. He confessed and in fact started crying at one point. Here is said boyfriend, Lance Twiggs. This audio, I don't know, how did it come out, Chris? It's a little funky. Yeah, it might be a little funky because it's a recording of a recording that we're playing third hand. But this is an interview with the police. This is Lance Twiggs, the boyfriend or girlfriend. He's transitioning. I don't know what I call him. He's a biological male who this Robinson character was dating and was the reason for him shooting Charlie Kirk for Charlie Kirk's position on transgender men. Lance Twiggs
didn't go into detail. I just asked him in person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. He started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it, and then kept going around and just doing stuff, I think, to keep himself busy or distracted or something.
That's enough to prosecute the man. But that's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about enough evidence to send it to trial. That short bite right there is probable cause that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. Would you not agree with that? Just that snippet. And they have hours of testimony from this kid. And like I said, I think the most dramatic moment in the trial will be when Lance Twiggs takes the stand and has to read the note that Robinson left. I had the opportunity to kill Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. And when they have him read some of the text messages that were sent, like the one he was describing, where he said he regretted what he was doing. He talks about in the text messages going back for the rifle that he left because he was taking it on the lam after he shot Charlie. I mean, it always amazes me sometimes the topics in which we have to discuss. That we really have to talk about whether Tyler Robinson is going to trial? Really? Like, that's a question? There's a debate? There's a scintilla of doubt? And again, remember, we're not talking about, I'm not saying, because I know radio and you'll hear what you want to hear. I'm not saying that he's going to be prosecuted and found guilty. That's not the threshold yet. All I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure there's enough evidence that this boy should go to trial. That's all we're saying. We haven't even talked about prosecuting. We haven't talked about not guilty, guilty, change of venue. We're not talking about that. Not yet. We'll get there. Because remember, as I told you yesterday, another one of the bag of tricks coming out of the defense to lengthen this thing, slow it down, muck it up, muddy the water will be they will demand a change of venue. They will say that Tyler Robinson cannot get a fair trial in the state of Utah, or at least in the community in which this happened. We'll see what happens. But I'm pretty sure when that happens, you'll think of Ralph Bailey, because you'll say, he told us that a couple of weeks ago. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Who you got?
Larry.
Larry, this can't become a daily relationship, my friend. What's up now? What you got some, what do you got, Larry?
Yeah, I'm calling to say I got one issue with your thing about the police calling people's tracking people's license plates. According to friends and family members, if you notice driving around town, a lot of time people don't have the current registration on their vehicles. So that means they're probably not living at the current address where the car was registered at. So that's one of the reasons why just writing down their license plate might not work 60% of the time.
Let me ask you a question, Larry. How'd you come up with that 60%?
Well, if you just pay attention when you drive around town and look and notice how many cars don't have the current registration.
Larry, are you aware that you no longer have to have current registration?
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
So you're saying you don't have to register vehicles in the state of California?
I'm saying that I believe they changed the law that they cannot stop you for registration.
No, that is correct. They cannot stop you for not having the current registration. And that's why a lot of people don't register their cars.
And it's about 60%, according to you, because you've gone around Kern County and done the math.
No, I don't live in Kern County. I live in Tulare County.
Okay.
I'm just saying, when you drive around, just pay attention casually how many cars don't have the current registration tag on. And just think,
and it's
if
about
they don't have the current registration tag, they probably don't pay insurance either.
Okay, and what does that have to do with anything? Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. And he doesn't even live in Kern County.
He's moved from Arizona. Well, no, because at one point he was here, and then he moved to Arizona, and now I guess he's in Tulare.
I guess we should be happy that people are streaming using KernRadio or .com or using YouTube to watch us.
We appreciate you, Larry.
Simply, yes, we do appreciate you, Larry. You're annoying as hell, but we appreciate you, Larry. We truly do. Keep listening and just tell the truth. And he can't even get a diary. He can't even get a diary. He lives in Tulare County.
Yeah.
If you don't know the bizarre way our ratings are, am I allowed to say this? I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. I don't think the FCC is listening. But they send out diaries, literally diaries. So you go to your mailbox and you open up the mail, and there's a thing from Arbitron, and it says, It has like, what is it, $3?
I think it's $2.
$2. They have literally 2 single-dollar bills in the envelope that you will receive. And it will ask you to monitor over a month period what you watch or listen to, depending, because TV does the same thing. They're the same arbitron. We're not a big enough market where they're reading the ratings off your television. Los Angeles, New York, the top probably 40 markets have that. We are in the hundreds, so we don't have that. So it's literally a diary for television as well. And you have to fill that out. Well, for my demographic, 35, 65, you guys will get the $2 and throw this thing away. You know what I'm saying? But young kids, 18 to 35, be like, yeah. And they get into it and they fill it out. And a lot of y'all listen to me. The other thing that I can't stand is why I stopped bugging JR every month about what the ratings are. It's been about 3 or 4 years since I've given a damn about the ratings, because most of you, daily listeners, there is a large percentage of you who listen every day. And how do I put this? You can't stand me. You cannot stand me, but you listen on the daily. Now, when that diary comes in and it asks you who to put down, a lot of people who can't stand me aren't going to put Ralph Bailey. You know what I'm saying? So it's a completely inaccurate science. It's about as dumb as it gets. And I'm in the 4th quarter of my life. I'm certainly in the 4th quarter of my career. And I couldn't possibly care less about ratings. My job at this company is to make money. That's my job. I don't know if you know this, but we're a business. I'm serious. We're a business. And so my job is to fill the satchel that Rogers Brandon gets every single month. Let's go and take a quick break, and we will get into a couple of things. The driver who got a real sweetheart deal despite killing someone. Talked a little bit about Caitlin Clark earlier, but I'll get into that. Maybe have the letter that the GOP has sent to the WNBA asking them to monitor Caitlin Clark's activities more or something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're trying to do. And I've got some more audio from the Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing. We've got a police officer who is testified as well. We'll get to that. And the bad sports news in the 5. We're in the 5, so I'll give you the sports news coming up here in just a second. In the meantime, you're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, where we stream live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The lovely ladies at KC Steakhouse are eager to get back to work. And where would you rather be? Trying to beat the heat and have one of the best steaks you'll have in Kern County. One of the single most iconic restaurants in Bakersfield, KC Steakhouse. And as I try to stress to you guys, of course, the ribeye is one of the favorites. I'm kind of a filet guy in New York on occasion, but not everybody, particularly when you go in large groups for birthdays and anniversaries. I just ran into the Paula family celebrating their son Tim's birthday, and it's not everybody is into red meat. That's why Chef Daniel has advanced the menu. I've told you about the chicken breast that I get, the Ralph Bailey. It's covered in a mushroom and spinach creamy sauce, the different fish dishes, the halibut, the swordfish, the mahi-mahi, and even the blackened cod, which is something new that they put on the menu as well. And the lobster mac and cheese, the fettuccine Alfredo with chicken. Are you kidding me? It is a vast menu. Chef Daniel does an incredible job. Don't forget about live music Tuesday through Saturday. And don't forget about the Stockyard next door. It's KC Steakhouse, longtime sponsor of the Ralph Bailey Show.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft.
I thought it was safe.
If that happens, LifeLock gives you a US-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims, your agent handles it all. In fact, we're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Isn't it nice to have someone like that on your side? Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Central Valley, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Is the volatility of the stock market driving you crazy? Is your retirement account sinking, yet you're getting older and you're starting to worry about, will I have enough for retirement? What about the money in the bank? These banks pay nothing these days. How do we get growth to get to retirement account? It's simple. Move into gold and silver. Want to know how to do it? Listen to my show, Striking Gold, with me, Kenny Michaels.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230.
This from Matt Riley, who sent me the bio of Randolph Mantu. But I want to hear from Mary Marcus. Mary, call the show. I don't see maybe I didn't read the Odyssey. Maybe I have them all mixed up because we're talking about 9th, 10th grade. But I don't see the comparison between the Odyssey and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Beyond George Clooney, I guess, searching to get back with his wife the way, what?
So I'm just looking it up just because I was curious on Google. It's the first option up there is it based off the Odyssey? And yes, it is.
We'll read what it says.
Again, this is according to AI from Google. But yes, the 2000s film, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Is loosely based on Homer's Greek poem, The Odyssey. The Coen brothers cleverly transplanted the classic tale of a man trying to get home to a Depression era American South. So it is just more like he's just trying to get home to his family. It's a loosely based thing.
Great film with a great song. In fact, play that song at some point before we get out of here. We don't got
yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I can hear it, but I can't sing. Why can't I hear it?
And of Constant Sorrow.
Constance, I still can't hear it. Sing a couple bars.
Of constant sorrow all through his days. You don't remember that?
But I mean, isn't there like a catchphrase that he says at the very beginning?
I think it's just I am a man of constant sorrow.
I am a man of constant sorrow. Yeah. It's a great song. Play it before we get out of here. All right, I guess I see the loosely based. Yeah, he's trying to get home to his wife.
There are some bullet points here. Hold on. The protagonist comparisons, the lead character, Ulysses.
Yeah, but George Clooney was a piece of crap.
Oh, well,
Odysseus
is a Roman name for Odysseus, is what they're saying here. So
the what?
For Odysseus.
That what is?
Ulysses.
See, that's what I read. In Latin, that's what I read. I read Ulysses. Ulysses.
Ulysses is the Roman name for Odysseus. So
Okay.
that's one comparison.
So I did read it. So that we've at least established that I did read it in Latin, but I read it.
So the wife situation, which we talked about during the break, how he's trying to get back to his wife and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, but she remarries. In the Odyssey, she doesn't remarry, I don't think.
I haven't read it, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay, all right.
Do
What,
need to sit down and read
what
that
else
one.
they got?
The obstacles on their journey, the escaped convicts encounter southern versions of classical mythological monsters, including the sirens and one-eyed cyclops, played by John Goodman. I don't remember that in this movie, but it's been a while since I've watched Oh Brother.
Oh, you don't remember when Goodman steals their money and hits them with a baseball bat or something?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I do. Now you say that.
Takes them out on a
absolutely do.
picnic.
Got beat up by
And
Fred
he beats the
Flintstone.
crap out of them. Yeah, and takes all their dough.
And then there's a prophet, obviously, with both of these movies. So that's the comparison.
Is there some comparison, Mary? Is there something to do with the guy turning into a frog? Remember that part where they thought John Turturro turned into a frog when they met those women at the water? You don't remember that part?
No, I do, but I'm trying to think.
And then
of
they all
something
wake
that would
up.
be
They all wake up and they're naked, and John Turturro's clothes are there.
and the frog is
But
in,
the frog
so-
is in, and they think that he's been turned into a frog. Is there any allusion to that in either Ulysses or Odyssey? I don't know.
That,
Can't
again, this
believe
is the most random.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. What else you got on the board? We don't have time for anything else. What else you got?
Let's see. Ralph, you are being a hypocrite. You say just do as you're told and deal with it in court. Also, this person may not have had a criminal career or even a traffic ticket, but in the moment, how is the officer going to know these facts?
And how is the suspect to know that they're cops? They were in unmarked cars. They had no sirens, no lights, no nothing. And he thinks he's being chased to be robbed. So I'm not shocked that he ran away from these guys. And you're telling me that you all think that it's a good idea that we've got these rogue, eager ICE agents running around in unmarked cars. They don't even have any signatures or insignia on their uniforms, some of them, that indicate that they're police officers. They're wearing masks, many of them, or have they taken that away? I'm not sure. And they just come upon this guy, and what's he to do? And I completely believe his brother's story. I completely believe the three witnesses, because I don't know, somewhere I read in our judicial system that witnesses count for something. And the three men that were in this car absolutely swore that at no time did the victim try to run the cops over. At no time. And there was a period where we believed witnesses. And you know what's about to happen? I can tell you what's about to happen. I can tell you exactly what's about to happen. They're going to ship these guys out of the country so quickly, it's going to make your head spin. They're going to deport those three witnesses so quickly, it's going to make your head spin, so that they can never testify against these ICE agents. I'm sorry. I'm pro deportation. I'm against people coming into this country illegally. But a man who's been here for 35 years should not be shot in the gut by an ICE agent. And Alex Preddy, who is coming to the aid of another person, does not deserve to get shot. We can argue Renee Good. We can argue Renee Good, but she was not shot in the face. You're just making things up at this point to try to make a point. One more. Chris, one more.
The only argument I have with you today, Ralph, is the one on car chases. You are saying that there's no reason to chase, just run the license plate and go to their house and pick them up. The flaw in that scenario that I would say is that most car chases are in stolen vehicles, so they really don't know who is driving. Now, I believe they need to use air and radios to conduct the chase. They need to be done as safely as possible, but no one answers are correct.
You truly believe, with all the cameras that we have in this country right now, that I could get into a high-speed chase the cops back off, and they're not going to find me in 72 hours? Is there really one person out there that believes that if I stole a car right now, I got into a high-speed chase with the cops, and they broke it off, you don't think they'd find me in the next 72 hours? Really? Good. Googly, moogly.
News. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump has chosen not to sign a sweeping housing affordability bill on Friday in protest of Congress not approving a strict voter ID bill that does not have enough support to pass. Still, the housing measure could become law on
30
Friday without
minutes,
Trump's
30
signature, as he had 10 days
minutes.
to issue a veto and stop the measure. Trump's post simply says that he won't sign it. A passenger on board a flight from Greece to Germany was partially sucked out of a window when it broke soon after takeoff. A hospital official in northern Greece said the 61-year-old man suffered neck and shoulder injuries and friction burns. Passengers reported hearing a loud bang nearly an hour into the flight on Friday. On Wall Street, that up by 149 points, the S&P 500 advanced 31. More details at srnnews.com.
Are you carrying more than $10,000 in credit card debt?
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN Newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. You may have heard about kids and adults interacting on video game platforms, and Thursday, Matthew Macatuno Naval of Elk Grove learned in court he will face charges of kidnapping a child under 14 to commit lewd or lascivious acts and 2 counts of lascivious acts with a minor under 14, 3 of 7 original charges in the kidnapping of a 10-year-old girl from Taft. Prosecutors say he met on Roblox April 12th last year. Normally, your car insurance rates are based on how well you drive, how much you drive, and how long you've been driving. A bill being considered by California lawmakers would let AI prediction models be interjected into that formula using GPS data to predict how you will drive and allowing insurance companies to set rates based on those predictions. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Let's be honest, money can feel overwhelming. Markets change, life changes, and most people are left wondering, am I actually on track? That's where MoneyWise comes in. We help people simplify the complex, make smart financial decisions, and move forward with confidence, without the jargon, without the pressure. Retirement planning, big life transitions, or just getting organized and knowing where you stand. And now you can find us in a new home, the historic Woolworth building, right in downtown Bakersfield. MoneyWise, clear advice, local roots.
So
Learn more at
supposedly the next half hour.
moneywiseguys.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SFPC. Investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial. LPL Financial and MoneyWise Wealth Management are independently owned and operated.
Maxwell in the morning. Good till the last mic drop.
Judge blocks Virginia law barring ICE agents from
Yeah, if
wearing
you
a
can't do it
mask.
now, how are you going to do it on
Anybody's
Tuesday?
Tuesdays will have to have a law prohibiting masks. That's the insanity.
What's your last name, Daisy?
It's likely unconstitutional.
Canal?
All they had to do was get a message
Canal.
from the
Like
DOJ.
canal?
Excuse me, but that's unconstitutional. Go away. Swat them like a fly.
Weekdays 9 to noon, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
In constant
sorrow. Great part of the movie, too. Am a man in constant sorrow. And by the way, you guys do know that was not George Clooney singing. It's a group that this became a hit for them, as a matter of fact, shortly after the film. And it's a great that when he sings it the second time on stage, it's a great scene in the film where he's dealing with his wife. He's wearing a beard. He pulls the beard down and says, "It's me." And then they start playing it, and he realizes that he jumps on thing and he's dancing. Clooney is a talented guy. He really, really is. I think he doesn't get his due because he's such a pretty boy and always has been. But he is really, if you look back at his work from going all the way back to ER as Doug, are you too old enough to remember ER? No. Doug, I forget his last name, but and through all the, his portrayal of Edward R. Murrow, just his work on the Oceans movie, Oceans 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He's a really, really talented actor. There is a great line.
Doug Ross.
Doug Ross was his name, Doug Ross. There is a great, he's married to a incredible woman, a brilliant woman who is, she was Kofi Annan's assistant at the UN. She's won global awards. She's an international diplomat. She can speak 4 languages. And it was Tina Fey, the night that they gave George Clooney the Lifetime Achievement, who had the great line. She said, George is married to, and I forget her name, and she broke down her accomplishments as I just did. Assistant to Kofi Annan at the United Nations, this and that, and this award and this award. And yet we're giving a Lifetime Achievement Award to her actor husband, which was kind of puts it in perspective on our weird relationship with celebrities and how we adore these people. By the way, in case you think that Chris Burdick's voice has changed, it has not. Daisy Canal is producing the last half hour of the broadcast. Chris is going on vacation next week, and our program director will be producing Monday, Thursday, and Friday. But young Daisy Canal will be producing Tuesday, Wednesday. Is that correct?
Yep, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, very good, very good. You feel comfortable? You ready to do this? No, not really. No, okay. Well, that's why he wants to give you a half an hour doing it on your own. Because you can't do it now, you can't do it Tuesday. Do you know how to read text messages? I'm not asking you if you know how to read. I mean, do you know how to pull them up and etc.?
Yeah, I have them pulled up.
All right, what do you got? Read with conviction. Sometime before 6 o'clock.
The guy who sang the song's wife said, "My dream came true, your voice coming out of George Clooney face." LOL.
Oh, yeah, because Clooney lip syncs it. That's what that was about. I just want to make that clear. Unless y'all thought mistakenly that George Clooney, among his many talents, is singing. No, they totally lip synced that. And like I said, that became a hit for those guys, whatever that band is. I used to know the name of the band because they were hot for a little minute, but no, that's not it. What else you got?
Has anyone told you that there's an Alexa AI voice that sounds exactly like your voice?
Exactly like my voice? No, I have not heard that. And I thought I had a rather distinctive voice. No? Kind of gravelly, and how could you imitate this horrendous voice? I don't know. Do I have my money? No? She's not here?
Do you have your what?
Money.
Money?
Yeah, did she show up?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I had gone to the bathroom. I haven't heard the door yet.
Oh, I thought you were answering the door. I'm the biggest sucker in the world. Never lend money. Never.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Well, but okay, you were
singing. Yeah, I was in. Yeah, true that. But and what really pisses me off is how I went out of my way to get her this money. That's right. I'm putting her on blast. Because remember, if you remember a week ago, I did not have my card, and you cannot get cash with your wallet phone. So I literally went to my bank and withdrew money to give to this woman. And for a week, I've been begging her to give it back to me. And now I need it because my money's a little funny, and I'm going to Los Angeles. I'm about to spend something close to about a G, probably. And I want my freaking money. And I'm sorry to bring my personal life into this show. I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. But
see, this is why, especially if I'm dating somebody and I give them money, I never expected that.
Yeah, I would normally, because I was on the verge of saying, you know what, just keep it. I don't want to buy. It's not. But I need it. I flat out need it, unfortunately. because it's a long story with my other job. My contract just got renewed, so I don't get paid this month, and that's a big hit in my deal. And I just gave money to the boy because he's going to Costa Rica for like 9 days with his roommate, and so I'm hurting. I'm literally hurting for dough, and I'm not touching savings or anything like that. I'm sorry to bore you with my ridiculous, sordid life. What else you got on the board? See, so you don't know how to pull them up. I thought you said you know how to pull them up.
It's back about the car chase.
Okay, what do you got?
Good googly moogly Ralph. You mean to tell me if you were driving a stolen vehicle in a car chase, you'd be driving that same stolen vehicle 72 hours later?
No, but the cops would find me 72 hours later. Just the way they found the killer in Idaho. You know how they found the killer in Idaho? Because his car kept going, and he kept going through cameras, because cameras are everywhere. Cameras are everywhere. So what the police can do is that they can map out your last departure and follow the cameras and follow you to your home or to Arizona. Are you kidding me? Are you guys not aware of this? That you're on camera just about 24 hours out of the day? I've told you this before. When you take your key out of your front door, you're on camera. Until you get in your car, you're on camera because you're on your own camera and you're on your neighbor's cameras. And then once you get in your car and start driving, you're on cameras all over the city. How do you think many crimes are solved? They're solved because they can follow the guys driving. They don't need to follow and chase them. And they're criminals. These people aren't intelligent folks, or they wouldn't be criminals. Do you really think that? So then what you're saying is that if I stole a car and I got away from the cops, they'd never find me. Is that what you're saying? The police work in the 21st century. If I were to escape a car chase, they wouldn't, even if I was in a stolen car, or even if I was in a car where the registration came back to my old residence, you guys honestly believe, we got to get Donnie Youngblood on the show. We got to get Donnie Youngblood on the show, because even I don't think Donnie would say that. That, yes, Ralph, you're right. Within 72 hours, we would probably find the person. Are you kidding? You guys have absolutely no confidence in our police work. There is no need to put other residents and citizens and drivers in danger chasing after somebody, and in particular when it is their car. So you can make exceptions. If it's a stolen car, maybe you continue with the chase. But if it's their car, if it comes back to an address that's linked to whoever this is, you continue the chase. I just, there's no need for this. There really isn't. And it's resulted in the death of a police officer. It's resulted in deaths of honest citizens. And I just believe that cops dig it. I absolutely believe they dig it. One more, let's take a break. Our final break of the day.
So the Alexa voice, they actually sent over the picture of it, but I don't have Alexa. It's masculine one friendly.
It's masculine one friendly. Well, my voice is not masculine friendly. It's gravelly. It's loud. It's been called obnoxious on occasion. But what was the description?
Masculine one friendly.
Yeah, it's never been described as friendly.
I'm more impressed that you're the first one on the list.
How am I the first one on the list?
No, it's number one, like masculine voice number one.
What does that mean?
Friendly. Like there's a list of all of these that say masculine one, masculine two, masculine three. It's just various different voices.
And mine is masculine one?
Yeah, exactly.
You're damn right. Let's go ahead and take our final break of the week as we wrap up another 5 days of sometimes mediocre radio broadcasting right here on News Talk 96 Point. This is where you hit the music, Daisy. There it is. That a girl. You do know I'm going to give you crap. You do know that. Okay. As long as we As long as you come in here Tuesday knowing that, we're good. We're absolutely good. And where are you going, Mr. Burdick? Share with the audience what you plan to do on your week vacation.
Well, tonight actually is when it starts, but I will be hosting, or not hosting, I keep saying hosting. I am guest judging a roast battle at the Well tonight with Sparky. It's going to be fun. It's going to be how we're going to kickstart this.
A roast battle?
Yeah, comedian roast battle. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I guarantee you maybe two guys will be funny.
Yeah, probably. But again, I'm just excited because it's going to be something I've never done before, and it's kind of like a Kill Tony thing where I get to make fun of the roasters. So
amateur comics just aren't funny, or they wouldn't be amateur comics. I don't know. I could be wrong.
A lot of these guys are very talented.
Yeah, maybe you'll come back a week from now and tell us how hilarious it'll be.
Yeah, I might have some sound bites for you too. You never know. And then starting on Sunday until next Sunday, I will be in Carpinteria.
Nice. I may literally be headed to El Segundo. That's where I might stay. There's a great hotel in El Segundo with an Olympic-sized pool that I like to stay at. Although I might just end up staying right here in town. Who knows? God forbid. 104 today, 105 tomorrow. Then we get a break. That's 103 on Sunday. Big time out. Final break of the night. Keep it locked. Scott Jennings at the top of the hour. In the meantime, you're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1, AM 1230, and we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, first of all, we got the hot list. We have the latest. We'll tell you who won Wimbledon. We got the latest on the human foosball. Is Mitch McConnell dead or alive? Who knows? We're going to find. Maybe we'll find out today. And then we'll talk jobs with America's Job Center at Kern. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. Right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Hey folks, Jeff Salters here, noted barbecue guy. Yeah, that's right, Bakersfield's best barbecue. And I'm here with my good friend Michael Binge. You know him as, hey folks, it's Michael Binge, noted barbecue connoisseur. So I'm going to do a little on-the-spot interview here. Michael Binge, you come here once, twice a year now. You get to come hang out. Your family's here. And every time you come, I know you always get you just a grip of barbecue. So Michael Binge, what's your favorite Salty's barbecue item?
Well, you know, bud, I have to get a bunch of food because I got a big family out here. So we always load up on family packs. Could be 2, could be 3, but then we have to get extra bread and extra sides and the spicy mac and cheese and the green beans. They absolutely love that stuff. So you know what I'll be doing? I'll be doing that tomorrow night.
You can find us at 9425 Rosedale Highway or 6801 White Lane. Or if you want, you can go to saltysbbq.com and order online.
Salty's Barbecue and Catering.
California Grill, Texas approved.
Oh, it's good.
I'm John Busby with Team Busby Real Estate.
And I'm Jonathan Busby with Team Busby Real Estate.
We just wanted to talk with you about what we do as a team. We do a great job for our clients. Some of the things that we do is when we represent sellers, we don't just put the transaction together. We do our homework and we check their FICO score, source of funds, where the money's coming from, and the job stability. Because what we don't want is to get you into an escrow and the escrow falls out because we didn't do our homework.
With any sort of real estate need that you have, we can accommodate, whether it's residential, commercial, land, or multi-units. We have experience in all and can help you to a successful close.
The background that we have is I was a lender for 5 years. And so I learned quite a bit as far as how to keep a transaction together. We don't just put it together and hope that it closes escrow. Nothing's 100%, but we do stack it in your favor.
With any needs or questions with real estate, give us a call at 661-410-7355 or visit our website at www.teambusby.com.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
What's wrong with the DA's office? I read that one. Nobody is above the law except for the DA, apparently. Oh, Brother Out Thou is an adaptation of the Odyssey, Mary. And I was telling you the Randolph Mantooth played Gage on Emergency, not the doctor. Yeah, I got that wrong. And George Clooney plays the lead in Oh, Brother Art Thou. Yeah, we know that, Mary. You need to watch it, and you will see the parallel. The ladies doing laundry in the river are the sirens. Okay, I guess I could see that. John Goodman is the Cyclops. I can't remember the others. Okay, yeah, I guess I don't have a very good imaginative mind. I'm not a very good feature writer. I'm more of a cops writer than I am, chronicling things than coming up with things. So maybe I don't think outside the box. Just a couple of things before we get out of here. I just got a couple of minutes left and just wanted to give some love out to the family of the late I hope I'm getting this right, Gayla Sue Price. She was the woman that Kadeem Rihad struck with his car. And this wasn't the first incident with this guy. This happened back in 2023. And of course, our district attorney, fighter of crime, had a plea deal for a guy who killed somebody. And the family is insisting, like other families have insisted, that the DA's office assured them that it would go to trial. Assured them. And again, as I said at the top of the show, I just think they're scared of some of the local attorneys. I think that Cynthia Zimmer is smart enough to know we probably can't beat H.A. Sala. We probably can't beat David Torres. So instead of the prosecution having the leverage and calling the shots, it's local defense attorneys who are simply better than anybody on Truxton. And Zimmer knows that. They're probably better attorneys than Zimmer herself. And she probably knows that. And so these are only the conclusions that I can make based on absolutely no evidence whatsoever. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm speculating. But why in the world are we making all these plea deals? Why is that like the motivation of the day for the DA's office? Kevin Mays, local pimp, human trafficker, and kitty porn star. He's going to do about 2 years. He human trafficked a woman. He made some young girl his slave to go out and have sex with men and come back and give him the money. And then when they investigated Mr. Mays, he's a big kitty porn guy, had a bunch of kitty porn on his computer and illegal weapons, which that was dismissed. The weapons charges against Kevin Mays by the DA's office were dismissed. And Mr. Torres, a very good lawyer, was able to get a really sweetheart deal for a human being who human trafficked a fellow human being. How Cynthia Zimmer puts her head on a pillow at night and sleeps totally befuddles me. Because let me tell you something. If I were in charge of law enforcement, if I was the top cop, and I just gave a guy 2-3 years for killing a 63-year-old grandmother because he was high on marijuana, I couldn't sleep. I don't know about y'all, but I couldn't sleep. If I allowed a man who is a pimp and a human trafficker and gets off on kiddie porn, if I were to let him to get out in 2 years, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't live with myself. But you know what it's like, apparently? This is the conclusions I'm making. I have no evidence of this. These are the conclusions that I'm personally making. It's about the scorecard. It's about the scorecard. Because all these plea deals go in the win column for Cynthia Zimmer and her staff. And so when she runs again, and trust me, she's going to run again. Despite the fact that we all know, except for those of you who may be family of Cynthia Zimmer's, longtime friends, so you're ignoring the incompetence and the vindictive nature of the DA's office, the chaos and mayhem that's going on in the DA's office. There are other DAs suing the DA's office. I haven't even gotten into that. If you're not one of those people, you realize she's never going to get elected dog catcher in this town. But if you don't think she's going to run again, you done lost your mind. You really think that Cynthia Zimmer runs in a circle of people that tell her the truth? That tell her you ain't got no chance of winning if you run again. That there's some young DA in your office right this very second that's plotting out their bid for the top cop. It was Scott Spielman at one point, a fellow DA, because it has to be out of that office. It can't be. Nobody in the private sector is going to take a pay cut to work on Truxton. And if you're a public defender, going from public defender to prosecutor probably goes against who you are if you chose to go and be a public defender. And B, you have no real prosecutorial experience if you've been a defender your whole life. So a challenger, or let's hope a successor, has to come out of the DA's office. And believe me, there's some young, ambitious DA that feels the way I do. I'm not the only one that thinks that these plea deals are a joke. Just go ask the family of Gayla Sue Price what they think of the DA's office. Imagine, and not that she matters, I suppose, but the woman he trafficked, Kevin Mays. I wonder what she thinks about the plea deal. This is insane. And again, I have been a long fan of Cynthia Zimmer's. I am in debt to Cynthia Zimmer, Tristan O'Neill, and their office. As most of you know, I was sucker punched and had my jaw broken twice in a restaurant, and they vehemently went after my guy. Vehemently went after him. Used all kind of, as I've talked about, camera evidence to find out who he was and run him down, and they did. And they prosecuted him. And you know what that guy got? You know what the guy that hit me on both sides of my face got? He got 2 years in prison. So, according to our DA's office, pimping and human trafficking is on the level of fighting in a bar. That's insane. And that ultimately will be the undoing of the political and professional career of our district attorney. And let me tell you something. God's honest truth. On my father's grave, this isn't easy for me. Again, I'm in debt for them for what they've done, and I've been a huge fan and a casual friend of Cynthia Zimmer's. But I can't lie into this thing and tell you that I think the DA's office is doing a wonderful job, and these plea deals that they've made are right on because Kevin Mays deserves just a couple of years for human trafficking. And the guy that killed the 63-year-old woman, he deserves just a couple of years for killing somebody. That's insane. I got to get out of here. For Daisy Canal, Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. I will rap to you on Monday.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241CI, Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
Oh, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Donald Trump has chosen not to sign a sweeping housing affordability bill Friday in protest of Congress not approving a strict voter ID bill that lacks sufficient support to pass.
The housing measure will become law without President Trump's signature because he didn't veto it. On Truth Social, he wrote, "I will not sign the housing bill, which has been fully approved by Congress and sent to the White House, in protest over the fact that the United States Senate is not capable of passing the Save America Act, which is polling at 97% with the Republican Party and very high with the non-politician Democrats." The president's rejection of the legislation cut short the GOP's efforts to address a key voter concern about rising home costs. He says the Save America Act will have a greater impact on society. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
The European Union says Facebook and Instagram are designed to be addictive.
The European Union is accusing Meta of designing Facebook and Instagram to get people hooked, especially children, and it's demanding that Meta disable what it calls key addictive features, such as infinite scrolling and autoplay of videos. The EU's charges against Meta platforms are part of its investigation under the Digital Services Act, and it threatens hefty fines if tech platforms don't protect internet users. Meta says the preliminary findings do not recognize the steps the company has already taken to protect teens. It says its teen accounts automatically protect minors and put parents in control. I'm Donna Water.
Lawyers for the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk are trying to sow doubt about the case, but a prosecutor countered Friday that authorities have overwhelming evidence against defendant Tyler Robinson. That includes DNA tests and apparent confessions by Robinson to people he knew. On Wall Street, the Dow by 149 points, more at townhall.com.
Progressive provides protection for your boat and other outdoor vehicles so you can explore new things.
Oh, I can finally try pesto.
We meant like water skiing.
I've just never had pesto.
Or maybe take the boat somewhere new.
I mean, is pesto spicy or sweet? Oh, guess we'll find out, right?
Right. Bundle home or auto insurance with your boat, RV, or motorcycle and stay protected with Progressive while you explore.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for pesto.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-550-7800. That's 800-550-7800. Call now to find out how much your case could be worth.
Effort has been sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
A goat has been providing some moral support to...
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
In the kidnapping of a 10-year-old girl, I'm Chris Davis. Prosecutors say Matthew